Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Naruto. God-level development system at the beginning. Chapter 1. Konoha Village, Konoha 33 years, Ninja School. Next Namikaze Minato vs Uchiha Ash. Following the order of the class teacher Yumu Shenyu, two children walked out from a group of 9-year-old children, a child with blonde hair and blue eyes full of sunshine, and a child with black hair and serious face. Look, the number one in the class and the second child in 10,000 years match up again. A little fat man said to the pineapple-headed little boy next to him while eating a bunch of snacks. It's really troublesome, but why does Minato face that Uchiha Ash every time? The pineapple-headed boy yawned thoughtfully. It was either the teacher or the Uchiha clan who arranged it on purpose. As the Uchiha clan in the ninja school, they lost one after another to Minato, who was born as a commoner. This is completely unacceptable to the usually arrogant Uchiha clan. The little boy with a yellow ponytail on the side guessed. They are the Inoshika Chonara, Akamaiki, and Yamanaka of this generation. Really, every time I face this arrogant brat, my proficiency can't increase. If it wasn't for waiting for a certain tomato, I would have applied for early graduation and went wandering with that pervert Jiraiya. Although the little boy with blonde hair and blue pupils looked sunny on the surface, he had already started to complain crazily in his heart. The little boy with blonde hair and blue eyes was not originally from this world. It has been 9 years since he traveled from the great celestial dynasty to this war-ridden world of Hokage, and he is quite familiar with this world of Black Zetsu's story of saving his mother. And Namikaze Minato, who has become a super handsome and super talented, is also a very good start. But thinking that Konoha was going to die in 48, Namikaze Minato panicked when he was a baby, so he started to exercise early. When he was admitted to the ninja school at the age of 6 and got the chakra cultivation method to refine chakra, his long-awaited cheat arrived. God-level development system, this is the name of the system. The function of the system is to continuously improve its power and evolve with the continuous use of its own abilities, and then with the development of proficiency. For example, fire style, the first stage is the normal fire style, and it can evolve into a fire element when it reaches the second stage, and then Namikaze Minato can be elementalized. As Namikaze Minato reminisced about his eventful life, Uchiha Asai took the lead and threw 3 shurikens at him. System: you are only 9 years old, where did you have such a magnificent life? However, Namikaze Minato seemed to be asleep, and ignored the flying shuriken. Be careful, Minato-kun. The students present exclaimed. I have to say that the shurikens of the Uchiha clan are really capable. The 3 shurikens were divided into 3 different directions to attack Namikaze Minato together. Boom! When the 3 shurikens hit Minato at the same time, when Uchiha Trouble just showed a joyful expression, a puff of smoke dispersed, and the figure of Namikaze Minato had disappeared in place. And Uchiha's troubled and happy expression also froze. How could it be possible? This is Shadow Clone. When did this guy get seal? Just when Uchiha was in trouble and shocked Namikaze Minato to learn Shadow Clone, a kunai was placed around his neck. You lose. Namikaze Minato stood calmly and Uchiha Asai said. Ding. Instantly kill a ninja student, and randomly reward 0.1% of fire style development. The system prompt sounded in his ears, and Namikaze Minato sighed helplessly. That is, he had improved a little more than his own training. When will you come, my little Nana? Namikaze Minato thought to himself. The system looks at my properties panel. Host: Namikaze Minato. Age: 9 years old. Strength level: Elite Genin. Ninjutsu: Fire style Fire Bomb, Lightning style Ground Walk, Wind style Great Breakthrough, Shadow Clone Technique, Body Flicker Technique. Physique: Leaf Great Whirlwind. Illusion: Narakumi Technique. The first stage of Fire style is 56.9% developed. Lightning style Phase 1 development rate 59.5%. The first stage of Wind style is 58.4% developed. Physical development degree 88.6%. Spiritual development 33.6%. Comprehensive strength, Chunin. Well, the improvement of strength is a bit slow. My future disciple Kakashi graduated at the age of 5, and Chunin is 7 years old. But Namikaze Minato is not in a hurry, because he has to wait for a certain cute tomato, otherwise he would have graduated 2 years ago. And now that it is in the period of World War II, he does not want to graduate so early, his own strength has not been well developed, and he will be cannon fodder if he goes there. It's better to develop insignificantly, and when World War II is about to end, go outside for a while, then the danger will be much smaller. After school, I came to an unmanned training ground in Konoha, and Namikaze Minato started exercising. After a shadow clone is separated, let the shadow clone start to exercise the ninjutsu of the three attributes of wind, fire and thunder, while his body starts to exercise his body. With constant exercise, Namikaze Minato's physical development is so high, and with the continuous improvement of physical development, Namikaze Minato can clearly feel that his chakra is constantly growing. After exhausting chakra and most of his energy, Namikaze Minato headed to his room, as he did every day. After waking up the next day, both chakra and the body have recovered to their best condition. This is also a benefit from the system. No matter how much you exercise, all the fatigue and hidden injuries during training will be recovered after a sleep. Today, as usual, Namikaze Minato came to the school. However, as the class time came, they found that their teacher hadn't come yet. In the constant waiting, finally came the sound of footsteps from the door. Then I saw Yumu Shenyu leading a red-haired girl approaching. And Namikaze Minato, who was still bored, was refreshed, and my little Nana came. Hi everyone, this is a new classmate, you have to get along well. Tamaki Shenyu pointed to the whirlpool Kushina and said, let me introduce myself. Then she said to her, hi everyone, my name is Uzumaki Kushina, and my dream is to become a female Hokage. Uzumaki Kushina walked to the podium and introduced herself loudly, without any fear of unfamiliar surroundings. Haha, she actually wants to be a Hokage, I'm afraid she is dreaming. That's right, seeing her red hair and round face, she's like a tomato. Yeah, I want to know how a tomato is Hokage. However, with Kushina's self-introduction, there was a lot of ridicule in the class, especially the topic about tomatoes was the most popular one round. I'm not afraid of you, don't mess with me, or I'll beat you up, and I also hate tomatoes very much. Uzumaki Kushina, who was ridiculed, scolded loudly. No matter how crazy Uzumaki Kushina is, in the eyes of Namikaze Minato, he is so cute. Okay, please be quiet and don't bully your new classmates. Tamaki Shenyu asked Uzumaki Kushina to find a seat after finishing speaking. And unfortunately, he made it ahead of Minato. Because only the space in front of Namikaze Minato was vacant, which was specially reserved by Minato for Kushina. It was not that no one sat there before, but they were all thrown out by Namikaze Minato because he hated others sitting in front of him. After Kushina got in front of Minato, Minato kept staring at her back and hair. My little pepper finally came. Perhaps it was because Minato's eyes were too hot. Kushina, who was sitting in the front, noticed the gaze from behind, looked back immediately, and found that the man with yellow hair behind him was staring at his hair all the time. What are you looking at? Even if you hate my hair, shut up, or I'll beat you up. After speaking, he waved his cute little fist. No, on the contrary. I think your hair is very beautiful, bright and shiny. Facing Kushina, who was pretending to be fierce, Minato said with a smile. Really? Kushina, who was still fierce at first, suddenly blushed and muttered, if it wasn't for Minato's good hearing, maybe she really didn't know she said Minato. Yes, Minato showed a sunny smile, and that handsome and warm smile hit Kushina's heart at once. Swish, the shy Kushina turned her head away and stopped looking at Minato's smile. And Minato continued to stare at Kushina's back, as if he couldn't get enough of it. Kushina also felt the hot gaze from behind, sitting like an ostrich all the time, her face was also red. After class, a few people represented by Uchiha Mahui came to Kushina. The anger of losing to Namikaze Minato yesterday should be vented on this outsider. Come and see, the red round face and red hair look like a tomato. Uchiha Mahui pointed to Kushina's face as if he had discovered a new world. Haha, as expected of Ma Wei, the description is too apt, from a distance, it really looks like a tomato. Uchiha Mahui's follower immediately agreed. And some civilians also laughed out loud when they saw Kushina's appearance. This made Minato frown. He is not the original Minato, whether it is values or worldview. The woman he chose is not something these little brats and tricksters can laugh at. and he is ready to teach these ignorant people a lesson, guys, especially Uchiha Mahui, who is the leader. It seems that the lessons given to him before were not deep enough. Just when Minato was about to make a move, Kushina, who had been holding back for a long time, took the lead. He rushed over and punched the unsuspecting Uchiha aside to the ground, then pulled up his collar with both hands and launched a spinning windmill, sending everyone around him flying. A group of students were so frightened that they obediently shut their mouths and didn't dare to laugh anymore. After all, even Uchiha Mahui, who was ranked second in the class, was defeated. How dare other people mess with this tomato? Run away, Blood Red Pepper is beating someone. Among those who were beaten, those who were scared to death ran and called out Kushina's new nickname. You are the Blood Red Pepper, and your whole family is Blood Red Pepper. Kushina, who was beating someone, yelled angrily on the spot, blocked the student before he left the classroom, and then gave him a heavy beating. Minato shook his head amusedly seeing this scene. It seems that I don't need to take action. Also, in the original book, Kushina, who just came to the village, was defeated by Genin, a commoner who will graduate, and these little brats are really not enough for her to beat. HMPH, if you mess with me in the future, you will end up just like them. Kushina, who had finished the beating, pointed at the rest, and Haki threatened. But when he saw Minato, his expression froze, but he turned his head immediately. This guy with yellow hair didn't help me just now, and he said that my hair is pretty. It's all a lie. Kushina, who was in a bad mood, left the teacher directly, leaving the students talking a lot. Everyone, what I want to say is that we should care for the new students and not do bullying. If there are still people who bully the new students in the future, then I don't mind bullying him. When the kids were talking, Minato stood up and warned the students in the class, then walked out of the classroom without looking back, and chased in the direction of Kushina. Hey, something is wrong with Minato this time. There is a situation. After Minato left, Shikajiu on the side showed a very 8-trigram smile, and even Yamanaka Haichi on the side nodded. Only Ding Zuo was crazy there without knowing it. There are only 3 of them in the class who are closer to Minato. After Minato walked out of the classroom, he quickly found Kushina and followed him from a distance, wanting to see where she lived. But when they came to a forest, 2 figures stopped in front of Kushina. It was Uchiha Ashes, and another person, but that person not only wore the costumes of the Uchiha clan, but also helped the forehead protector. This is a Uchiha who has graduated. It was you who beat my brother. The person who came was Uchiha Mahui's brother. He saw his brother with a bruised nose and a swollen face on the way home. After learning the reason, he immediately took his brother to revenge. The face of the Uchiha family can't throw it away. So what? Who made him so unrestrained? Kushina said without fear, and then pointed at Uchiha Mahui. And you coward, you can't beat yourself and you go to your brother. It's embarrassing. Fool, you are not allowed to insult my younger brother, and dare to underestimate our Uchiha clan. I will teach you a lesson today, and let you know that the Uchiha clan is not something you can underestimate. Uchiha Chingwei reached out and grabbed Kushina's hair angrily, wanting to teach him a good lesson. Uchiha Chingwei was a chunin, and his shots were so fast and sudden that Kushina couldn't react at all. Snapped. A hand appeared to block Uchiha Aoi's movement. It was Minato. Using the big to bully the small, is this the glory of your Uchiha clan? Minato looked at Uchiha Chingwei mockingly, not afraid of their revenge at all. I also have a backer. You are the Namikaze Minato that Mahui always said. Let me know that a commoner like you is not a ninja today. Uchiha Chingwei took out a kunai and stabbed Minato. Minato retreated to Kushina's side, hugged him around the waist, and then a body flicker technique came not far away. You stay here for a while, there is a problem over there that I need to solve. Minato smiled at Kushina, and then looked at Uchiha Ase with a displeased face. Hehe, isn't it good? You know all about body flicker technique, but you must have never seen ninjutsu. Today, I will show you the fire style that our Uchiha family is proud of. Uchiha Chingwei said while making seals. Fire style, great fireball technique. However, when his great fireball just spewed out from his mouth, he found that a fireball had already rushed towards him. It turned out that when he was making seals, Minato also started making seals. Compared with Uchiha Chingwei's slow speed of slag dropping seals, Minato's speed is very fast. Boom! The great fireball and the flame bomb exploded not far from Uchiha Chingwei, and a strong hot wind came from the explosion. Uchiha Chingwei hurriedly retreated when he saw this, but Uchiha Mahui suffered a disaster. He was just beside his brother. Unfortunately, at this moment, a small fireball flew out from the explosion, very fast, and the target was Uchiha Ash. The confrontation of the sea-level fire style was not something the ninja student Uchiha Mahui could dodge at all. Even if it was Yu Wei, the fireball ignited his clothes at once, and then burned on him. Seeing this, Uchiha Chingwei hurriedly came to his brother and took off his clothes, alleviating the crisis of Uchiha Mahui. You yellow-haired fool, you dare to hurt my brother, I won't let you go. How can I say that the world of Hokage is a broken world, especially the Uchiha clan, which specializes in producing all kinds of broken. Uchiha Mahui is fine, but here Uchiha Chingwei is furious, and when he opened his eyes, a hooked Sharingan rolled in his eye sockets. Then he rushed towards Minato with kunai. In front of my eyes, all your movements are invisible. Leaf Great Whirlwind. Boom. The face slap came so fast. Just as Uchiha Chingwei finished his pretentious words, Minato kicked him in the face with a Leaf Great Whirlwind and kicked him flying, which was a real face slap. So what if you can see my movements clearly? If you can see clearly, it doesn't mean you can keep up. How can you keep up with my speed with your weak body reflexes? Minato stood in the distance and looked at the fallen Uchiha Chingwei with disdain, saying that it was Chunin, but the strength among Chunin was probably the worst. It is estimated that Chunin was achieved only by opening a pair of Sharingan. Other qualities have not reached Chunin at all, and are still at the level of elite genin. At this time, Uchiha Chingwei couldn't refute it. Minato's kick was not light, and he kicked him in the face again, which directly caused a concussion. He still hasn't recovered yet. Ding! Defeat a Chunin, and randomly reward 3% of fire style development. Hehe. I didn't expect to have a development rate of 3%. This is comparable to training for more than a month by myself. It's not bad, as expected of Chunin, just a few more. Let's go. Came to Kushina, shook his finger at him, and then took the lead and walked forward. Kushina looked at Uchiha Chingwei who had seen the bottom, and Uchiha Mahui who was standing aside stupidly, and then chased after Namikaze Minato. Thank you. Looking at Minato's back, Kushina said after hesitating for a while. You're welcome, it should be. Minato said with a smile behind his hands. Then why didn't you help me in the classroom just now? Kushina pointed angrily at Minato's behavior in the classroom just now. I originally wanted to attack, but you did it yourself first, and seeing that you solved them so easily, I won't help, but this time is different. The Chunin of the Uchiha clan is not something you can deal with. Minato knew Kushina's struggle, so he explained it in detail. Oh, Kushina smiled happily when she heard that Minato was not watching the theater. In this way, this guy really doesn't hate herself anymore. Well, he can be friends with him. Where do you live? I'll take you home. Minato asked and continued. Kushina didn't speak, but walked in front of Minato and led the way. The two of them just walked on the road quietly, neither of them spoke, each thinking about their own thoughts, but at this moment, silence speaks louder than words. I'm here. Nearly half an hour later, they came to a huge house, which is the house of the Senju family, but now the Senju family has withered, and many houses are empty. Well, see you at school tomorrow. Minato looked at the surrounding buildings. No wonder Kushina was robbed by Cloud Shinobi once after graduating from the original work. The Senju family's house without defenses is really easy to get in and out of. But now both he and Kushina are only 9 years old, and Kushina graduated at 12 years old, and Kushina was caught with a forehead protector, so at least 3 years from that time, there is so much time, enough for him to become stronger. Protect Kushina now. And now it's almost time to plan your own famous stunt, Flying Thunder God technique. I don't know what kind of changes will happen after the development of space ninjutsu. Anyway, Minato is looking forward to it. After returning home, he unexpectedly found that Jiraiya was there. The house he lives in now belongs to Jiraiya. As an orphan, after being accepted as a disciple by Jiraiya, he moved to his house. Lustful Toad, you're back. Is the war going well? Minato didn't feel anything wrong with his title. Anyway, Naruto in the original book was always called Pervy Sage. I've said it all. I'm Toad Sage, not a lecherous toad, you're an unfilial disciple, I'm so mad at you. Jiraiya was satisfied with all aspects of her disciple, but the disciple felt a headache about her title. It's all the same, there's no difference, they're all toads anyway, and aren't you lewd? Minato tilted his head and glanced at Jiraiya. Jiraiya suddenly scratched his head in embarrassment. Are we all men? Isn't it normal to be lustful? Is the old man so lustful even without seeing it? Everything you say makes sense, I can't say no to you, and I don't know that you have so many fallacies at such a young age. Jiraiya was helplessly defeated. You haven't said yet, how is the war now? Minato continued to ask. I don't know what's going on with Cloud Shinobi, but Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, and Konoha are currently fighting fiercely in the Land of Rain. Everyone wins and loses. This time I also came here because I was escorting information. I'm back, I'm going back in a few days. Jiraiya looked at Minato apologetically. This student is really excellent, although he is his master, but because of the war, there are too few opportunities to teach by himself. It's okay, I'm used to it, and don't die on the battlefield, I don't want to collect your body. The next thing may be the so-called Sannin Fame battle, and I don't know when it will happen. But Minato is very afraid that his arrival will have a butterfly effect, making Jiraiya die at the hands of Hanzo of the Salamander, so he is still very worried. Haha, I'm the hero Jiraiya, how could I die on the battlefield? Boy, don't worry about me, and I'll give you a gift before I leave. I hope you boy don't blame me for being incompetent as a master. Jiraiya first he laughed proudly, and then showed Minato a mysterious smile. You will know tomorrow. I won't tell you now, but you will know tomorrow. Jiraiya remained mysterious. By the way, I beat up a member of Uchiha's tribe today. It seems to be a Chunin called Uchiha Chingwei. Minato also told what happened to Kushina by the way. Don't worry, didn't you just hit the Uchiha clan, and the other party was wrong first, the teacher will block you, let's see who dares to trouble you. Jiraiya thought that Minato was worried about the Uchiha clan's revenge, so he patted his chest guaranteed. But you kid has already defeated Chunin, why don't you apply for graduation? Then Jiraiya continued. Knowledge, you are not in Konoha, who will take me after I graduate, I don't worry about others. Namikaze Minato rolled his eyes. Jiraiya scratched her head in embarrassment, as if that was the case, Minato is such a genius, I am afraid that only I can hand it in, the others are not worthy at all, Jiraiya said very narcissistically. Well, in another year, I will apply for graduation. This year, you should work harder. After 1 year, you apply for a long vacation, and then come and take me with you. Minato thought for a while, and came up with a compromise solution, just to use this year to cultivate a relationship with Kushina. Alright, then it's settled. Jiraiya nodded, agreeing. Early the next morning, Hokage office. Old man, I want to exchange my military exploits for my disciples a chance to read the sealed book. Jiraiya stood in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen and made a request, which was the gift Jiraiya said yesterday. Jiraiya, Minato is still young, isn't it too risky to let him read the sealed book now, or give it to him after he graduates and becomes a ninja and performs the task? Sarutobi Hiruzen suggested. But his other meaning is also obvious, Minato is too young, even if he is your disciple, he may not be very reliable. I guarantee in the name of Jiraiya, Minato will definitely be the pillar of Konoha's future, and will never betray Konoha. Naturally, Jiraiya knew Sarutobi Hiruzen's concerns, so he began to guarantee in his own name. That's it, since this is the case, I promise you, remember that there is only one day, and it can only be one. Hearing Jiraiya say this, Sarutobi Hiruzen no longer insisted. Jiraiya has promised in name, if he refuses again, he will not trust his disciples, but Sarutobi Hiruzen still trusts his disciples very much. He took out a large scroll and handed it to Jiraiya. Remember, there is only one day, so get it back at this time tomorrow. Sarutobi Hiruzen said cautiously. Don't you worry about me. Jiraiya finished the sealed book, then waved her hand smartly, and left here. Looking at Jiraiya's disappearing back, Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered to himself, can you defeat Chunin of the Uchiha clan with your own efforts at the age of 9? It really is worthy of Jiraiya's fancy genius, and the most important thing is that he is a commoner. It seems that Sarutobi Hiruzen did not pay less attention to Minato, and even knew about his defeat of the Uchiha clan. When Jiraiya came home, Minato had just woken up, so he did his best for his disciple, and ran to Hokage's office early in the morning. Get a shadow clone and go to class. You and I have important things to do at home all day today, and then I will leave for the front line almost tomorrow. After seeing Minato, Jiraiya ordered directly. Minato was taken aback for a moment, then nodded, and after assigning a shadow clone and letting him go to school, he looked at Jiraiya puzzled. What takes a day? Dang 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 dang, this is the gift I'm talking about, Konoha's top secret, the Book of Seals. You may not have heard of it, but you only need to know that it contains all kinds of ninjutsu and forbidden technique written by Hokage in the past. That's right, teacher, and I traded this in exchange for military exploits. You can only choose one. Taking out the sealed book, Jiraiya proudly showed off to Minato. And Minato was really stunned. No matter how he thought about it, he never imagined that the gift Jiraiya said yesterday was actually a sealed book. He who had seen Hokage didn't know how harsh conditions were required to read the sealed book. And Jiraiya was able to do this, which shows that he is really well-intentioned. Teacher, thank you. At this moment, Minato thanked him sincerely. Although this guy was out of tune, he did his best for him. You brat, it's not easy to hear a serious teacher from your mouth. Jiraiya yelled strangely, and while yelling, he changed his ugly posture, which made his eyes irritated. Lustful toad, hurry up, don't waste time. Seeing Jiraiya's funny look, Minato was speechless. As expected, it's better to call him a lecherous toad. Jiraiya's body, which was dancing with coquettish capital, also stiffened, leaving a big drop of sweat on her head. Snatching the sealed book from Jiraiya's hand, Minato opened it and read it. When he saw the sealed book again, he already had his own choice. I was still thinking about how to get my famous ninjutsu before, but Jiraiya sent it over because of her awesomeness. But he still had a look at it, and finally settled on the Flying Thunder God technique. Lustful toad, I choose this ninjutsu. Pointing to Flying Thunder God technique, Minato said firmly. Flying Thunder God technique, this is a space-time ninjutsu. This is a ninjutsu that only second Hokage can do. Many ninjas in Konoha have chosen it, but they all failed, so this technique is very difficult. Do you want to change it? Jiraiya said after seeing Minato's choice. No, I feel that this is the right ninjutsu for me. Minato shook his head and rejected Jiraiya's proposal, firm in his choice. Well, maybe you can really reproduce this Flying Thunder God technique with your talent. Seeing Minato's determined look, Jiraiya stopped trying to persuade him. As a teacher, he only needs to mention the choice of disciple. That's fine. Minato then carefully read everything related to Flying Thunder God technique. After reading it, ding! Congratulations for learning the Flying Thunder God technique. The space development degree is open, currently 1%, please host to work hard to develop. Sure enough, after reading the skills, they will learn them automatically, and then only need to develop them. After hearing the system prompt in his mind, Minato thought to himself. This is another heaven-defying part of the system. But the next year can focus on developing space. Because after checking the power of space evolution, it is simply a group of strong, so now he mainly develops space attributes. After continuing to pretend to read for a long time, Minato closed the sealed book and handed it to Jiraiya. That's all for now, don't worry, I'll pay it back tomorrow morning. Jiraiya persuaded, it only took half a day. I have fully understood it, and I have it in my heart. It is just a waste of time to read more. Minato shook his head, refused, and then told Jiraiya, and he was ready to practice. When I came to the usual training place, I recalled the requirements of the Flying Thunder God technique in my mind, and engraved the Flying Thunder God technique. Then he walked to a place 10 meters away and continued to engrave a Flying Thunder God spell, and then moved chakra in his heart. Whoosh! Minato disappeared in place and appeared in the place where the Flying Thunder God spell was depicted just now. Successful, a systematic life is 666, and I will definitely reach the pinnacle of the ninja world in this life, punching 6 paths Madara and kicking Kagaya-ji. Minato, who successfully used the Flying Thunder God technique, said excitedly, but the consumption of chakra is a bit high, and it consumes 1/10 of the chakra. With the amount of chakra Minato can only use 10 times. You must know that Minato's chakra amount is much higher than his own strength level, and the average elite Chunin does not have as many as him. Because it doubles when the physique is developed to 60%, and then doubles when it reaches 80%. So this shows the consumption of Flying Thunder God. And Minato is excited, but there are two people who are scared. They are Sarutobi Hiruzen and Jiraiya. The two stared at Hokage's office, watching in horror the scene of Minato using the Flying Thunder God technique in the crystal ball. Are you sure he just watched Flying Thunder God technique today? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked incoherently. You also gave me the sealed book this morning. Jiraiya rolled her eyes angrily. Is Minato's talent so terrifying? Sarutobi Hiruzen stared at Jiraiya. Ah, it seems to be. I remember when I tested his attributes and found out that he had the 3 attributes of wind, fire and thunder. I threw 3 ninjutsu at him, and he was able to use them all without any effort the next day. Quote. Jiraiya thought about it, and talked about what happened after he was accepted as an apprentice, but now it is not the second day after reading it, and it is very likely that this guy learned those ninjutsu after reading it once. You don't even know about your own apprentice. How did you become a teacher? You still promise me. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Jiraiya speechlessly. Hearing that Jiraiya scratched his head again in embarrassment, he felt that he had scratched his head a lot recently, and he didn't know if he would be bald if he kept scratching like this, but unfortunately, even if he was bald, he would not have invincible strength. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Minato in the crystal ball, and made a decision in his heart. Jiraiya, I decided to focus on Minato as a training object, and after he graduates, you will personally lead the team. Sarutobi Hiruzen's decision to focus on training surprised Jiraiya a bit, but considering how enchanting his disciple was, Jiraiya naturally agreed with it, and proudly told Sarutobi Hiruzen about the agreement between himself and Minato 1 year later. Sarutobi Hiruzen made a decision without even thinking about it. Naturally, Minato didn't know that the scene where he used the Flying Thunder God technique was spotted by 2 obscene voyeurs. After exhausting chakra, the development rate of the space has reached 3%, that is to say, it has been used for about 5 times to increase by 1 point. Sure enough, practice is not necessary. Only defeating more enemies is the best way to develop. I just hope that Uchiha's people will be more powerful and send more people, and don't come all at once. The strength is too strong. Others are afraid of the strength of the Uchiha clan, but Minato is good, and directly regards the Uchiha clan as a trial stone. If they knew, they would burn Minato to ashes desperately. Chakra was also exhausted, and seeing that it was still early, Minato could only sit cross-legged on the ground and slowly recover chakra, preparing to practice for a while. In the afternoon, all the restored chakra were used to practice the Flying Thunder God technique, which made the space development rate rise again, reaching 6%. I looked at the time and it was almost the end of the ninja school, and Minato stopped practicing, but intends to invite Kushina to have dinner together. When I came to the school gate, I found that my shadow clone and Kushina were walking out of the school gate with it. Boom. After disabling shadow clone directly, Minato walked towards Kushina. Okay Minato, you actually use shadow clone to teach. I want to tell the teacher. Kushina said angrily. In fact, what he cares deeply in his heart is that Minato is not the main body to accompany her in class. Yes, it's all my fault, then I'll treat you to dinner as my apology. Minato hurriedly comforted him, and in this way he just used dinner as an excuse. Then I will forgive you generously. I want to eat ramen. Do you know which ramen in Konoha is delicious? Kushina said excitedly. I really know that a ramen restaurant is very delicious. Let's go, I'll take you there. Minato nodded, and then walked towards the legendary Ichiraku ramen. I don't know when it was opened. The author rarely reads the memoirs, so let's take it as it has already been opened. After all, it is the legendary Otsutsuki Ichiraku funny smiling face. After coming to Ichiraku ramen, Minato ordered 2 miso ramen. He knew that Kushina likes to eat salty taste. How do you know my taste? Kushina asked Minato in a low voice. Because I like the taste of miso, I think you must also like the taste of miso. Minato teased Kushina a little calmly. Sure enough, Kushina didn't ask again, but lowered her head and blushed thinking, what does this guy mean? If he likes it, I must like it. Minato also knew enough was enough, and he stopped flirting after seeing Kushina's appearance. After a while, 2 bowls of ramen came out, and Kushina couldn't wait to eat it when she saw the ramen. Wow, it's so delicious, Minato, thank you for your recommendation, I will come to Ichiraku for ramen in the future. After trying the first bite, Kushina began to praise. Thank you, guest, for your evaluation. This is your recognition of us. After hearing what Kushina said, he stood up and said happily. It's really good, very delicious. Minato also nodded, and finished the bowl of ramen in front of him. Ah, I'm so full. I'm going to eat tomorrow. Kushina patted her stomach, very satisfied. Come over if you want to eat, I'll take you. Minato left the money on the counter, said hello, and walked out of the ramen shop with Kushina. Where are you going? Go home or take a walk after dinner? After walking out of the ramen shop, Minato asked Kushina beside him. I don't want to go back so early, the house is deserted, only grandma is there. Kushina said. It goes without saying that Minato heard that, of course he took his little Nana to the commercial street. He has also saved a lot of money over the years, all of which are the grants Jiraiya gave him and the orphans. But apart from food, he usually doesn't have any expenses, let alone practice, he doesn't care about kunai shuriken at all, why waste that money, and these things are extremely expensive. After the in-depth development of physique can increase chakra, Minato will position himself as a mage, and he is a mage of the mobile fort type. After coming to the commercial street, Minato followed Kushina as a payment machine. When Kushina came back to her senses, she realized that she had spent a lot of money from Minato, so she lowered her head shyly and stopped buying. She knew that Minato was an orphan, so he definitely didn't have much money, but just now he would pay without hesitation as long as it was what she wanted, which moved Kushina's heart very much. What grandma said fills my heart with love, I seem to feel it. After that, Kushina stopped buying it, and played the nature of ordinary women, just looking at it but not buying it. When it felt like the time was almost up, Minato was ready to send Kushina home with the bag in hand. The two walked side by side. Along the way Kushina chattered about all kinds of happy things just now, while Minato held the things Kushina bought just now in one hand. Seeing Kushina's cute little round face, Minato felt that he should take the initiative and take the first step bravely. He couldn't be worse than himself in the original book. He stretched out his little hand and grabbed the excited Kushina's little hand. This action made the chattering Kushina stop abruptly, and then he lowered his head with a flushed face. But she didn't withdraw her little hand, she just looked at her toes, silently acting like an ostrich. However, Minato standing beside her could clearly hear the thump, thud, thud, heartbeat from his chest, which shows how nervous Kushina is now, not at all as calm as she appears on the surface, her heart is pounding like a deer. Kushina is the best description at this time. Unknowingly, the two came to the door of the Senju clan, and Minato reluctantly let go of Kushina's little hand and reminded, "You're home." Kushina looked up at the gate, then looked down again. Minato suddenly smiled softly. The expression of a shy little girl like blood red pepper is really rare, but it is also really cute. After handing the things in his hands to Kushina, "Go in, I saw you go in and go home. Then, see you tomorrow." Kushina's voice was still inaudible, but fortunately Minato could hear it clearly in the silence of the night sky. "See you tomorrow." Kushina walked towards the gate step by step, turning back 3 times, and finally disappeared completely into the night. Minato didn't delay any longer, turned around and walked towards the house. That night, the hearts of both of them were not at peace. When Kushina returned to the room, she unexpectedly found that Grandma Mito was in her room. "Girl, why did you come back so late, and made Grandma worry to death? Did you go shopping?" Mito looked kindly at Kushina who entered the door, and asked after seeing the things in her hand. "Yes, Grandma, Konoha's commercial street is really fun. This is a scene that never existed in Uzumaki before." Kushina chirped about everything that night. "I remember you didn't bring any money, who gave you these things?" Then Mito quickly discovered another point, and couldn't help but smile at Kushina. There must be something wrong. "Yes, it was given to me by a boy." Hearing Mito's mention, Kushina said a little coyly. "Who is that boy? Can you tell Grandma? Grandma also wants to see who can make my good granddaughter so happy." Mito asked with concern. Kushina's identity has a lot to do with it. She can't be careless, so she naturally has to ask clearly. "His name is Namikaze Minato, he is my classmate." Kushina said the name without thinking too much. It's him, Jiraiya's disciple. Mito immediately relaxed when he heard about it. He had heard the name of Minato, who made him have a master who loves to show off, saying how good his disciple is every day. Grandma, have you heard of Minato? Kushina was taken aback. Yeah, I heard from Jiraiya that he is a genius. Mito rubbed Kushina's little head with a smile. Of course, Minato has always been the first in the class. Chunin from the Uchiha clan came to bully me the day before yesterday, and Minato beat me away. Kushina said proudly, like a showman. Mito obviously found out about Kushina's situation, so it seems that Kushina's heart has begun to be filled with love, and it won't take long to fill it up, which is also good news. When Kushina showed off to Mito, Minato also came home, but he didn't go to sleep at this time. He decided to use up his own chakra, because his chakra had fully recovered after shopping this night. Looking at my fire style development level, it has reached 59.9%, and there is only 0.1% left to rise to 60%. And thinking that 60% of my physique is rewarded, I don't know what 60% of fire style will reward. Separate a shadow clone to practice fire style with myself. As time passed, when chakra was exhausted, Minato's fire style development level finally reached 60%. Ding, congratulations, the development rate of host fire style has reached 60%. Ding, congratulations to host for learning the B-level fire style ninjutsu, extinguishing fire. Oops, not bad, I am worried that there is no advanced ninjutsu, and the development reaches 60% and even rewards a B-level ninjutsu. If the development reaches 80%, then there is an A-level ninjutsu, not bad good. After Minato knew the rewards for fire style development reaching 60%, he turned his attention to lightning style and wind style, especially lightning style, which only needs 0.5% to break through, and there will be a B level at that time lightning style is ready to harvest. And wind style is not far away. I have decided to get the B-level ninjutsu of lightning style and wind style first, so that I have 3 B-level ninjutsu since then, and my strength will also improve of. In the next few days, Minato worked hard to focus on lightning style and wind style, and after chakra was exhausted, he went to Kushina to contact him, so that he could both flirt with girls and practice. Finally, after more than half a month, both wind style and lightning style were increased to 60%. The main time spent was wind style. After all, the development rate was 1.4%. Ding, congratulations, the development of host lightning style has reached 60%. Ding, congratulations to host for learning the B-level lightning style ninjutsu, Rage Thunder Tiger. As a B-level, I can't find it online. Ding, congratulations host wind style has reached 60% development. Ding, congratulations to host for learning the B-level wind style ninjutsu, Whirlwind Fist. In this way, Minato's 3 attributes of escapism have reached 60%, and he has also learned 3 B-level ninjutsu. The system looks at my properties panel. Host, Namikaze Minato. Age, 9 years old. Strength level, Chunin. Ninjutsu, Fire style Flame Bomb, Lightning style Ground Walk, Wind style Great Breakthrough, Shadow Clone Technique, Body Flicker Technique, Fire style Fire Extinguishing, Wind style Whirlwind Fist, Lightning style Furious Thunder Tiger, Flying Thunder God Technique. Physique, Leaf Great Whirlwind. Illusion, Narukumi Technique. The first stage of fire style is 60% developed. The first phase of lightning style development is 60%. The first stage of wind style is 60% developed. The degree of physical development is 89%. Spiritual development 34.6%. 10% of space development. Comprehensive strength. Elite Chunin. Well, the strength improvement is still very good, a whole stage, but it is estimated that it is mainly related to the Flying Thunder God technique. Although the teleportation distance is not too far away, it is still no problem to use it in a short distance. However, with the improvement of the development rate, especially the completion of the first phase of development, Minato believes that the distance will become farther and farther. At that time, I will leave my Flying Thunder God technique in the entire ninja world, and I can go wherever I want with a single thought. When fighting, wherever my eyes go, I can suddenly appear, and then reward the enemy meatball meal. Well, it's free. But at the moment I don't know how to rub balls. Minato wants to wait until his physique is developed to 100% before practicing balls. After all, the chakra consumption of an A-level ninjutsu is still very large. Minato's current chakra is really high. Not a few. Especially with the Flying Thunder God technique, the number is estimated to be even less. Besides, there is no need to prepare any trump card in Konoha now, and it will not be too late to get it after graduation. If there is any danger, just run home, and if it doesn't work, you can go to Hokage. Anyway, it's a Flying Thunder God thing. Then wait for his own strength to come back for revenge. It's that simple. In the early stage, Minato was still determined to develop wretchedly and not to mess around. Today Amaterasu and Kushina often come home from school together, but what is different is that they are followed by 3 light bulbs, which is the Ino Shikacho trio of this year. As the 4th Hokage in the future, my own team is indispensable, so I can start from the baby. Besides, although Konoha's Ino Shikacho is not as powerful as Uchiha and Hyuga, it is also a famous big family in Konoha. It is very necessary to bind their future patriarch to their chariot. Before Kushina came, Minato established a good relationship with them. Today he asked 3 people to come out mainly to introduce Kushina and them to each other. After all, although he didn't say anything clearly, both Minato and Kushina have already accepted each other as their significant other, so Minato also thinks it's time to introduce his friend to Kushina. After arriving at the Ichiraku ramen shop, Minato held Kushina's hand and said, "As you can see, Nana and I are already together, brothers, please bless me. I've known for a long time that there was something wrong with your first classmate Kushina, but I didn't expect you to move so fast. It's only been less than a month, and you've managed to fix him. You really are a master." Lu Ju put up a thumbs up and praised Minato's way of teasing girls. "Lu Ju and I have long been thinking about when you will announce your relationship with us. I didn't expect you to be so fast. I thought it would be at least a few months." Yamanaka also joked. "When did the 2 of you start? I didn't notice any signs of it." Well, it was the chubby guy, and he just realized it, and expressed his inner shock with a shitty sentence. "You usually eat anything but food. I don't know how many times Hai and I have said it next to you. Did you listen carefully?" Lu Ju rolled his eyes and said angrily. "Hey," Xiao Pengdun thought for a while, it seems that this is the case. He has become a bit addicted to food recently, and doesn't pay much attention to what Hai and Lu Ju said. "Hello, I'm a classmate, but I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kushina, and I'm from Minato. I'm Minato's girlfriend. Please give me your advice." Kushina was still a little shy, and it was a bit difficult to say when she introduced Minato's girlfriend, but after struggling for a while, especially after seeing Minato's playful eyes, she finally said it out. "Hi, Kushina, I'm Nara Shikahisa, please give me your advice in the future." "Hi, Kushina, I'm Yamanaka Haiichi, please give me your advice in the future." "Hi, Kushina-san, I'm Akamaiki Choza, please give me your advice in the future." The 3 immediately went forward to resolve Kushina's embarrassment, and the author introduced himself. In this way, they have known each other for business, and they can be regarded as a small gang in the class. After the 3 of them ate the ramen, they walked out and prepared to go home. Of course, Minato and Kushina must live a 2-person world. However, just when the 5 people were about to separate, an arrogant and domineering voice came, which made the 5 people who were in a very good mood suddenly upset. "Hey, that yellow-haired brat, you're the one who bullied my 2 cousins, you're really brave, even my Uchiha Grey cousin dared to touch me, I think you don't want to be in Konoha, keep messing around." 3 people from the Uchiha tribe dragging 2.5 to 80,000 people blocked the way of the 2 of Minato, and the Ino Shikacho trio who had already walked away came back again, standing aside and frowning watching the arrogant Uchiha Ash. "Hey, you brat, let me be more arrogant this time. Don't think that defeating me is great. This time my cousin came back from a mission, he is the real elite Chunin strength, unlike me who barely reached Chunin, this I must look good to you next time." After Uchiha Wei finished speaking, Uchiha Chingwei also stood up and said without shame. "Finally, when my cousin came back after completing the mission, the time for this B-level mission was too long, and he did not forget the defeat half a month ago. So as soon as my cousin came back, I couldn't wait to encourage my cousin to avenge him and his younger brother. Minato, I've heard about this guy, a rare genius of the Uchiha clan. He has the strength of an elite chunin at a young age, and the other party is only 16 years old now, and it is estimated that he will reach Jonin in a few years. This is a commercial street. The opponent dare not make a move here. At this time, Lu Ju stood aside and reminded Minato not to be impulsive. After all, he still doesn't understand Minato's current strength. Minato is indeed a bit dignified upon hearing the words. His strength is also elite chunin, but he doesn't have much experience. It can be said that this is an obvious disadvantage. But it doesn't matter. When you have a chance, you can engrave the Flying Thunder God formula on the opponent's body, so that if you don't know it, you can hit Uchiha's Grey by surprise, and send a lot of development speed to your door. If you don't collect it, it will be a sin. Uchiha Grey, right, this is a commercial street, so it's hard to do anything. Do you have the guts to follow us to the training ground? Minato didn't hesitate at all, so he didn't say anything, just do it. Have guts, but I hope you will be so ambitious later. Don't be cowardly, lead the way, you choose the location. Uchiha Wei showed a cruel smile. This commoner really doesn't know what to do, give him a deep thought later lesson. Minato, don't be impulsive after I told you just now, why are you so easy? Lu Ju anxiously persuaded from the side. Hai and Dingza also looked at Minato worriedly. This is a genius of the Uchiha clan who has graduated for several years. When Minato, Uchiha Wei and others went to the training ground, their images were displayed on the crystal ball in Hokage's office. Coincidentally, Sarutobi Hiruzen was observing some bathhouses, and happened to find the scene of Minato and the Uchiha clan confronting each other, so he immediately observed. And immediately arranged for a Jonin Anbu to follow him in case Minato suffered any loss, but he also said that no matter who is in danger of life, he must be stopped immediately. Minato, let me see your real strength, and show off your talent to your heart's content. Sarutobi Hiruzen took out his small pipe and began to watch the show leisurely. Minato took them to a training ground, which was not his usual training ground, and he didn't want to be troubled by others when he was training. Come on, Minato, kill this pink-eye patient. Kushina stood aside and cheered loudly for her sweetheart. And the three Ino Shikacho on the side twitched their mouths, pink-eye disease. Kushina is really daring to say it, and I am not afraid that the whole Uchiha clan will hate you. You tomato, how dare you insult our Uchiha clan like this? I, the Uchiha clan, will not let you go. Uchiha Mahui immediately stood up and threatened Kushina. TCH, you didn't call me a tomato first, you Uchihas are pink eyes, pink eyes, pink eyes. Oh no, you don't have pink eye yet, Mana. Kushina started to fight back without showing any weakness. As for the pink eye disease, it was also picked up by Minato when he was chatting with him. But the name is so apt, a group of pink eye patients. Don't be arrogant, you tomato. Uchiha trembled angrily, pointing at Kushina's face. His lips were in a state of embarrassment. So what about arrogance? Hit me, come here if you have the ability, coward, coward, useless. Facing Uchiha Mahui, Kushina was not afraid at all, so he kept gesticulating with various contempt and contempt. That's enough, my stupid brother. Look at this woman, hate her, and practice hard. When you have the same strength as me, you can teach this woman a lesson. Uchiha Chingwei held tightly. Stay with the younger brother, the cousin is still here, they can't declare their troops to seize the master. Yes, brother. Uchiha Ma-wei looked at Uchiha Chingwei excitedly, and the two of them clasped their hands tightly and stared at each other. And Uchiha Mahui's dialogue and affectionate actions blinded Minato's titanium alloy dog eyes. What the hell, could it be that Uchiha Itachi is possessed? Even Lu Ju and the three of them stared at the pair of brothers in astonishment, their eyes were so hot. Shut up both of you, the Uchiha family is completely disgraced by you. Uchiha's veins bulged. If it wasn't for his cousin, he would definitely slap these two fools who disgraced Uchiha to death. Yes, both of them trembled, and immediately stood obediently. Let's get started, don't say I'm bullying you, you do it first. Uchiha said condescendingly, not paying attention to Minato at all in his tone. Ha, shameless, it really is pink eye disease, knowing that Minato is talented, if you can't beat your peers, you can find an older one, why don't you call your dad out, why don't you pull out your grandpa who has half a foot in the coffin, and said not to bully Minato, how shameless. Kushina sneered when he heard that Uchiha Wei became a fool and set up a chastity archway, and immediately slammed Uchiha Wei and his elders all over again, cracking his small mouth, extremely sharp. Lu Ju and the others were impressed by the look of this husband-guarding madman, and they all gave Minato a thumbs up. Seeing this, Minato glanced fondly at Kushina, who is doing well. You have to pay the price for your arrogance, no one can save you. Then as the target of being sprayed, Uchiha couldn't bear it anymore, and she must kill this woman later, anyway, she is a person from outside the village. If you kill them, you kill them. I believe Hokage doesn't dare to do anything to them. If he knew that Kushina came to Konoha as a container to seal the Nine Tails, and he was going to kill her, let alone the real Konoha would explode, it is estimated that the patriarch of the Uchiha clan would shoot him to death himself, then send the body to the door to apologize. What a big deal it is to seal Nine Tails. If it is really going to be destroyed by the Uchiha clan, it will be even more difficult for the clan to live in the future. I'm sorry, you don't have this chance. Today you will be lying here like a dead dog. Minato blocked Uchiha Ash's look at Kushina's realization with a sullen face. He sensed the murderous look in Uchiha Ash's eyes. Kushina. If you dare to kill my woman, then don't blame me for destroying you completely. Yes, for Kushina's safety, he decided to abolish Uchiha, so as not to worry about his wife in the future. As for the consequences, Minato didn't think about it so much, and with his status as Jiraiya's disciple, he didn't think anything would happen. And when Uchiha Ash showed killing intent to Kushina, not only Minato felt it, but also third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and Anbu sent. This made Sarutobi Hiruzen frown. The Uchiha clan is really used to being arrogant, and they are going to kill people because of some quarrels. It seems that the Uchiha clan should be warned, Kushina is not something they can do. Go and call the patriarch of the Uchiha clan over here, and say that I have something important to talk to him about. Sarutobi Hiruzen shouted to the empty office after taking a puff of cigarette. Yes, who doesn't know like a dead dog, you all go to hell. Uchiha closed his eyes as he said, and when he opened them again, a pair of Urgoyu's Sharingan rolled in his eye sockets. Then he took out a few shurikens and threw them at Minato, but this time they were not pure shurikens, but also the unique Sharingan of the Uchiha clan, the Sanjidao. Wind Style, great breakthrough. To deal with these blades, Wind Style is the best choice. Minato made a quick seal, took a deep breath, and then released an endless gust of wind from his mouth, blowing away all the shurikens and connecting lines. Fire Style, Flame Bomb. After spitting out the wind, Minato didn't stop, but while Uchiha was focusing on those shurikens, he released a Fire Style ninjutsu again. Facing the attack of Fire Style, Uchiha Wei had to give up manipulating those shurikens, but stood up to avoid the fire bomb attack. Compared to Fire Style, I'll let you see who is the king of Fire Style, great fireball technique. Uchiha, who was in midair, was not slow to print ash, and a huge fireball shot out from his mouth out. Joke, I will lose to you in terms of Fire Style. Give me a move. Fire Style, to extinguish the fire. Minato did not hesitate at all. He really regarded himself as the ancestor who played with fire, and waited for the first stage of Fire Style after the development. I will show you the ancestor of Minato called playing with fire. Now let's give you a taste of the B-grade Fire Style. Although it is not as overwhelming as the Uchiha Madara gushing out, it is also much larger than the flames of the great fireball technique. After the two fire styles collided, Haruo-mie engulfed the great fireball technique with an overwhelming victory, and then continued to attack the Uchiha Ash in the air. Uchiha shrunk his eyes when he saw this. How could it be possible? Someone could use a fire style that was stronger than their Uchiha clan. It was simply inconceivable. The fire ruthlessly engulfed the Uchiha Ash in the air, but Minato didn't express joy, but looked around more solemnly. Because the Uchiha Ash in the air turned into a charred charcoal. Body replacement technique, it's just elite chunin of the Uchiha clan. I didn't even find out when he started making seals. While vigilant, Minato was secretly startled. There, however, Kushina suddenly pointed in a direction at this time. There was a big tree, which was the hiding place of Uchiha Wei. More invincible. Hearing that, Minato didn't consider whether what Kushina said was true or not at all, and trusted her without reservation, and once again sprayed a fire bomb in the direction Kushina pointed. Whoosh! After the fire bomb hit, Uchiha jumped out helplessly, and the sneak attack plan failed. Despicable, to intervene in the battle between two people. Uchiha Ashes on the side pointed at Kushina angrily. Aren't you despicable? Find someone who is so much older than Minato to fight, what do we say? Don't say anything if you can't afford to lose. It's fair. With the talent of our family Minato, he will only be 10 years old in a year, but this Uchiha Ash will definitely not be Minato's opponent a year from now. Husband Madman Kushina went online again, pointing at Uchiha Ashes and scolding him. But what he said was true. Judging from the previous fights, the strength of the two people is comparable, and this Uchiha Ash is 7 years older than Minato. A year later, this Uchiha Ash is far from being Minato's opponent, and it is estimated that he will be left far behind. You, Uchiha Mahui pointed at Kushina for a long time, but you didn't know why. He was at a loss for words. What are you? You come out to find fault with such a stupid mouth, idiot and fool. Kushina squirted Uchiha's ashes again so that he couldn't resist. This made the people again, especially Luju and the three of them, feel ashamed for a while. As expected of blood-red peppers, they even sprayed people with such momentum. No one in the room knew this, even Uchiha Wei knew that after a while, he would not be the opponent of the yellow-haired boy in front of him. It was abominable that a commoner could surpass him from the Uchiha clan. Jealousy and anger filled Uchiha Hui's heart, and he would definitely destroy this yellow-haired boy at all costs. In this way, he is still a genius of the Uchiha clan, and this yellow-haired boy is a failure. Goyu Sharingan spun extremely fast, looking for the flaws in Minato's body. He had to kill with one blow, otherwise he would lose the chance. And Minato also had the same thoughts, always looking for an opportunity to engrave the Flying Thunder God technique on Uchiha Hui's body, and then came to a surprise attack to completely abolish him. Both of them are concentrating on observing each other, and both want to give each other a fatal blow. Just when Minato's mind was spinning rapidly, a method suddenly appeared in his mind. He felt that if this method worked, there would be no need to engrave the Flying Thunder God technique on Uchiha Ash. Wind Style, Whirlwind Fist. A large number of chakra condensed in the hands, and then an invisible fist wind rushed towards Uchiha Ash. Uchiha dodged and dodged, but he didn't realize that at the moment of dodging, Minato left a Flying Thunder God spell in place. Of course, Uchiha Chingwei and the others also saw that Minato squatted down at that moment and touched the ground with his hand, but they didn't find anything wrong with Minato, so they didn't remind Uchiha Wei. Even Luju and the others didn't know why Minato suddenly revealed such a big flaw, and only Kushina present knew that it was Minato's depiction of a Flying Thunder God technique on the spot. For more than half a month, he has also practiced with Minato, so he naturally knows the principle of Flying Thunder God technique, which is the legendary ninjutsu of time and space. After Minato completed the characterization of the spell, he deliberately sold a very large flaw in place, which is fatal. Good chance. After seeing Minato's opening, Uchiha Grey rushed up immediately, first threw a few more shurikens to prevent Shisui from returning, and then took out kunai and stabbed fiercely at Minato's neck. Minato's acting skills are also very good. He quickly stepped back a step or two, with a terrified expression on his face. Minato, be careful. Luju, who didn't understand the situation, was terrified and wanted to rush up immediately. It's just that they were stunned for a second, because just when Minato was about to be stabbed in the neck, he disappeared with a shua. Not only were they stunned, but Uchiha Ash was also completely stunned. How could it be possible? How did this guy disappear? Body flicker technique also needs to seal. He just didn't have time to seal at all, he can be sure. However, he couldn't see it, but Luju and the others saw it. One moment he was still in the state of life and death, and the next moment, he appeared behind Uchiha Wei. It was simply unimaginable. How did Minato do it? Not good. Uchiha Wei finally noticed something was wrong, because he felt the movement coming from behind him, but he couldn't reflect it at all. Leaf Great Whirlwind. Appearing behind the unsuspecting Uchiha Wei, Minato exhausted all his strength and raised the most powerful Leaf Great Whirlwind, and the target was Uchiha Hui's spine. If the kick broke, Uchiha Hui's book would probably be over. Maybe Tsunade can heal, but with the grievances between the Senju family and the Uchiha family, how could Tsunade heal Uchiha Ashes? Bang bang bang. In order to achieve a one-hit kill, Minato kicked several times at the highest speed, without giving Uchiha Wei the slightest resistance. Crack. The sound of a bone crack sounded, especially loud on this training ground. Wow! A miserable cry came out of Uchiha's gray mouth, and an unbearable pain came from behind. You must know that Minato's physical skills may be less, but his strength is very powerful. After all, his physique has been developed to almost 90%. With his full strength, it shouldn't be too easy to kick Uchiha Hui's spine. Not good. Hokage's direct line Anbu, who was hiding in the dark, appeared with a whoosh, and he didn't expect that the decisive battle between the two would be decided in such a short period of time. It's really that Minato's Flying Thunder God technique is so fast and sudden that everyone can't react. Even Jonin Anbu in this dark place was too late to rescue. He rushed over to check Uchiha Hui's injury, and felt a thump in his heart. This is a broken vertebra. If he doesn't get treatment, then this life will be completely useless, and he can only lie in bed for the rest of his life. Thinking of this, Anbu immediately rushed to the medical department with Uchiha's ashes, and he didn't intend to blame Minato. As a direct Anbu, he certainly knew that Minato was Master Jiraiya's disciple, and he also knew that Master Hokage paid close attention to him. This time he was sent here not so much to protect the two parties from fatal injuries, but to protect this little guy. As for Master Hokage's thoughts, he guessed very accurately. How dare you beat Brother Gray like this? The Uchiha clan will never let you go. Brothers Uchiha Chingwei and Mahui pointed at Minato with pale faces and scolded. Then they ran away in a very funny way, not daring to say a word, for fear that Minato would beat them up too. Hokage office. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the final battle results in the crystal ball leisurely, with a happy smile on his face. The little guy is good, he used the Flying Thunder God technique in actual combat so quickly. Uchiha Hiroshi, the patriarch of the Uchiha family, looked at the picture in the crystal ball blankly. Master Third Generation asked me to come here just to see this scene. The genius of his own family was defeated by the civilians. To be honest, Hiroshi Uchiha was very unhappy. No, fighting is not the reason. What I want to say is that you Uchiha clan always trouble Kushina. I think it's time to remind you, otherwise you won't know what mistakes your clan made. Sarutobi Hiruzen paused and sucked smoking continued. Kushina is a member of the Uzumaki clan, and his role is to succeed Mito-sama. I think you should know what I mean when I say this, but you Uchiha clan have troubled her one after another. This time it is even more extreme. That Uchiha Ashes obviously understands. Killing intent. Sure enough, when Sarutobi Hiruzen mentioned the role of Kushina, his pupils shrank. Of course he knew that Mito-sama is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki of this generation, and Kushina succeeded her, which means that this is the new generation of Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and Konoha is obviously very follow her. But the Uchiha clan keeps making troubles, and what's more serious is that they want to kill the future Jinchuriki, which is fatal, because others will not think that you Uchiha don't know, but deliberately. I know Lord Third Generation. I will restrain the group of people not to trouble this girl anymore. If anyone goes again, Master Hokage can handle it by himself. After Uchiha Hiroshi finished speaking, he withdrew. Hiro, no matter how badly your Uchiha clan is injured this time, you can't find the person who defeated him, because she is the most important bond of Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and I don't think you want Nine-Tails who got out of control to come to you one day. Let the Uchiha clan go make trouble. Sarutobi Hiruzen said again at this time, but this is not a threat, because if Nine-Tails really loses control, then not only Uchiha will suffer, but Konoha will also suffer, which is not what he wants to see. Of course Hiroshi Uchiha knew the consequences of Nine-Tails' loss of control, and immediately nodded cautiously, expressing that he would not act recklessly. Konoha Hospital. Uchiha Hui's grandfather, Uchiha No, stood beside Uchiha Wei with a blank face. Since the medical ninja told him that his grandson was useless, he had no other actions. As for the medical ninja's suggestion to find Tsunade, he automatically ignored it. He knew Tsunade would never treat his grandson. And he already knew the cause and effect clearly, but it didn't mean he could bear it. Especially those two fools who encouraged their grandson to avenge them, but in the end they ran away without a trace. Even if it was his younger brother's grandson, he would never let him go. Of course, there is also the culprit who kicked his grandson's spine. He will not let it go, because he is the great elder of the Uchiha clan. If his grandson is treated so miserably and can swallow his anger, then he doesn't have to hang out in the family anymore. Take the young master home. After a long time, Uchiha Yi showed a frightening look in his eyes, and after giving instructions to his subordinates, he returned home with a blank expression on his face. Yes, great elder. Two people from the Uchiha clan hurriedly carried Uchiha Ashes home. When Uchiha returned to the family and learned that the patriarch had summoned him, he hesitated for a while, but planned to meet him. Elder, I have heard about Wei, but there is one more thing I want to tell you clearly. After Uchiha Hong returned to the family, he naturally learned of Uchiha Hui's tragic end. But it was about Nine Tails Jinchuriki. He had to ask Uchiha to come over for a talk. As for how to choose, it was up to him. His only grandson became like this. If he could bear it, then he was not the great elder of the Uchiha clan. So after telling Sarutobi Hiruzen to Uchiha, the choice is up to you. After all, it is your grandson. Originally, he promised Sarutobi Hiruzen that no matter how many injuries he suffered, he would not pursue it, but it is obviously impossible now. The injury will always heal one day, but being crippled is a lifetime thing. Although it is the same injury, the concept is completely different. Sarutobi Hiruzen, does he really think that being a Hokage is great? I am the only grandson who has become like this. Can he pass by with a simple sentence? This is impossible. Nine Tails Jinchuriki, I may not move, but the civilian who broke my grandson's spine was absolutely doomed. Sure enough, after listening to Uchiha Hiroshi's words, Uchiha's anger, which he had held back for a long time, suddenly exploded, and Sarutobi Hiruzen was deceiving too much. Uchiha Hiroshi sighed on the surface when he heard that, but deep down he began to secretly laugh. After Uchiha left, a figure came out from another room. He was Uchiha Hiroshi's son, Uchiha Fugaku. Father, is it really okay to let the great elder continue to make trouble like this? Uchiha Fugaku looked at the back of the great elder worriedly. Fugaku, if you want to become the patriarch, the great elder is the biggest obstacle, because Uchiha Wei is comparable to your strength and is your strongest competitor. Now he abolishes you and is the only heir to the patriarch. But I'm afraid that they will not be willing to come out to obstruct it at that time, so let the power of the great elder's line be weakened a little, so that you can sit in the position of patriarch 100% from now on. Quote. Hearing Uchiha Hiroshi's words, Uchiha Fugaku nodded and didn't bother anymore. Here, after Uchiha Yi returned home, he asked the guards to bring Uchiha Ma Wei and Uchiha Ching Wei back to Galai, and before they got rid of the commoner, they let out a bad breath first. He didn't forget that the cause of everything was brought by these two brothers. If it weren't for them, his grandson would still be one of the patriarch's candidate heirs, and now he would have nothing, and everything would be cheaper than that Uchiha Hiroshi. Hiroshi Uchiha will not be allowed to succeed so easily. Soon the two pale and powerless Uchiha tribesmen were dragged over by the guards. Grandpa, please forgive me. We know we were wrong. We shouldn't have encouraged my cousin. Please let us go. As soon as the two saw Uchiha, they immediately ran over on their knees, crying and begging for mercy. Bang bang bang, kowtow. They never imagined that it was just an ordinary shaker. How could it become like this after renting out? If they knew that things would turn out like this, they wouldn't dare to encourage Uchiha Wei to avenge them for them if they were killed. Don't worry, I won't kill you, but you should lie on the bed with your cousin for the rest of your life, so as to show the friendship between you brothers. Uchiha squinted his eyes, and let out a cold and ruthless breath. The words he said made Uchiha Chingwei feel like they were in an ice cave. No, Grandpa, please let us go. The two of them immediately stepped forward, but were stopped by Uchiha's subordinates. Do it. Out of sight, Uchiha turned his head and urged. Yes, great elder. Ah ow. Two miserable voices came from the mouths of Uchiha Chingwei and his brothers. Their spines were completely interrupted like Uchiha Chingwei, and they could only spend their lives in bed. Ding! Congratulations to host for defeating an elite Chunin. The random reward space development rate is 10%. When Minato defeated Uchiha Ash, the system prompt arrived immediately. It's really cool to reward 10% of the space development. This space is the most difficult to upgrade. Now with this 10%, Minato's space development rate has reached 20%. However, I still need to improve my strength as soon as possible, and strive to develop my physique to 100%, so that when it comes, I will have sage body rewards, more chakra, and better use of Flying Thunder God technique. In this way, it is also easy to face the next attack of the Uchiha clan. But Minato knows that the situation must be calm now, and Uchiha Hui's relatives will not be so stupid as to come to take revenge now. They will definitely wait until everyone has forgotten the matter before dealing with Minato. This also gave Minato time to grow his strength. Good boy, what happened at the last moment? We thought you were going to be seriously injured, but who knew that you disappeared all of a sudden, and then appeared behind Uchiha Wei, and killed him in one blow, which made us worry long time. Lu Ju came over and complained. Hai and Ding Zuo also nodded in agreement. They were really taken aback just now. Haha, I can't say this for the time being, anyway, you will know in the future. Minato said haha, the matter of Flying Thunder God technique should be used as a trump card, no one can know it all now. Because it was only used once, everyone didn't know what was going on, except for Sarutobi Hiruzen and Jiraiya, others didn't know that it was a space-time ninjutsu. Don't talk if you don't say it, but don't do it next time. If our hearts are not big enough, we really can't stand your scare. Lu Ju punched Minato in the chest angrily. Seeing this, the others also punched Minato, expressing their dissatisfaction for the first time. Haha, thank you for your concern, but it's getting late now, it's time to go home. Minato scratched his head and began to change the subject. Seeing this, the three didn't say much, telling Minato to be careful and not to mess around, and went home. And Minato is also very responsible to send his little Nana home. You did well today. What performance? You look like a madman. Hate it, then you were a wife-protecting madman. I was originally a wife-protecting madman. In this way, everyone will be with each other. Ha 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 ha. Chapter 11. The next day, Minato was called to Hokage's office, mainly about his defeat of Uchiha Ash yesterday. Little guy, you're really serious. Uchiha Wei broke his spine directly. I'm afraid he'll be lying in bed for the rest of his life. As soon as he came in, Sarutobi Hiruzen began to criticize Minato. That can't be my fault, Uncle Hokage, who let that Uchiha Wei provoke him first, and later became murderous towards Nana, so I can only hit hard, but I didn't expect the injury to be so serious. Minato spread his arms and pushed the blame cleanly, as if it wasn't my fault at all. Okay, I'm not blaming you, I've already solved the trouble your kid caused for you. I'm here to ask you, is there anything you need recently? Sarutobi Hiruzen laughed. This guy is very clever, and know how to shirk responsibility completely. Being spotted by Sarutobi Hiruzen, Minato didn't feel embarrassed at all, but felt that this was the case. As for the need Sarutobi Hiruzen mentioned, Minato was lost in thought. The Book of Seals doesn't help me at all. At most, the illusion of a dark technique is useful, but I am a mobile turret, so what kind of illusion is needed? Just bombarding the enemy indiscriminately is the most powerful way. Hey, there is. Uncle Hokage, I want to find someone to be my training partner, so let's go to the elite Chunin level first, and then change to a special Jonin when I need it later. Minato praised his mechanism, so that there is no difference between training and development mistakes, and it can also increase combat experience. It's simply a wonderful attention, and you don't have to worry about your own safety. In addition, there are often Anbu ninjas directly related to Hokage, and people from the Uchiha family will not dare to do it. This can be regarded as a bodyguard. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned when he heard that. Finding a partner for the little guy is a long-term task, and with Minato's current strength, elite Chunin can only draw with him at best, and he must always pay attention to his elusive Flying Thunder God technique. Uchiha Ash was accidentally attacked by Minato and ruined his life. Uncle Hokage, it doesn't take a long time. He will send me a person every 3 days to compete, and I won't need it after I graduate in a year. Fearing that Sarutobi Hiruzen would disagree, Minato hastily continued to add conditions. Only then did Sarutobi Hiruzen nod readily. If it was only for 1 year, then it would be fine, as long as he invested in it in the current period. It's just pity for those Anbu, who will often be abused by a child in the future. Okay, I promise you, starting tomorrow, every 3 days I will send an Anbu to fight with you. If you need anything, just ask Anbu to tell me. As soon as Sarutobi Hiruzen finished speaking, Maybe it was an illusion. The entire elite Chunin of Anbu suddenly felt a chill hit their foreheads, as if something bad was about to happen. Konoha Village, root underground, in a dark room. A ninja with a bandaged right eye sits at the head, and two Anbu ninjas wearing animal masks are kneeling below. Needless to say, the ninja with the bandaged right eye is Konoha Village's famous pot king, Shimura Danzo. At this time, Guo Wang has not made himself look like a ghost or a ghost, at most he has one eye tied. Other places are still normal people, and they have not installed Sharingan, Senju Hashirama's cells and the like on themselves. How is the matter that I asked you to investigate? Shimura Danzo asked with his eyes closed, expressionless. Report to Mr. Danzo, this is the information the two of us found. One of them, Anbu, handed over a piece of information in his hand. Shimura Danzo took it and slowly opened the file, and the photo on the first page was Minato. Shimura Danzo checked slowly, bit by bit, without missing any detail, and it contained all the details of Minato from birth to the present. Time passed little by little, and the whole room was silent, only the occasional sound of paper pages turning. The two Anbu knelt on the ground without making a sound. Snapped. Shimura Danzo closed the file after reading it, and murmured to himself in a low voice, I can't imagine that the disciple Jiraiya always brags about is so talented. I always thought this guy was bragging for face. He is indeed a genius. He left all his classmates far behind in school, and at the age of 9, he was able to defeat the elite Chunin of the Uchiha family who opened Goyu Sharingan. Such a talent should be used by my roots. The root is what allows him to bring out all his talents. You two go and bring this Namikaze Minato back, I want to meet him. Finally, Shimura Danzo said to the kneeling man on the ground. Yes, Master Danzo. The two nodded, and disappeared in an instant, and went to carry out the task ordered by Shimura Danzo. Coming out of Hokage's office, Minato walked with an extremely arrogant figure of 8 with a happy expression on his face, causing a group of people to look sideways. Ahem, keep a low profile, this is too arrogant, I'm going to be a 4th Hokage in the future. Withdrawing the extremely arrogant figure of 8 gate, Minato began to walk normally with a serious face, as if the person just now had nothing to do with him. Not long after Minato walked out, the two ninjas at the route followed. Minato, who was walking, was moved. He had already found someone following him secretly, but he didn't know who it was. It was a little strange in my heart, but relying on the courage of the skilled person and the magical skill of the Flying Thunder God technique, Minato slowly walked into the deserted forest of Konoha. Anyway, this distance is enough for him to be a Flying Thunder God technique went back. Fire style, fire out. After feeling that it was about the same, Minato quickly formed a seal, and a huge flame shot out from his mouth, rushing towards the two people who were following secretly. Water style, water barrier. One of them immediately uses water style to block Minato's fire style. TCH, when my level is higher, or the degree of development is deeper, let's see who can resist my fire style in the future. Minato muttered unhappily when he saw how Huomi was blocked. It's okay to be unhappy, the battle still has to continue. Stop, we asked you to go to a place, not to fight with you. Seeing that Minato still wanted to make a move, one of them, Anbu, said hastily. TCH, you think I'll believe you when you say that, and I even told you to go to hell, it's a good place. Minato didn't believe it at all. The two of them dressed up as Anbu's decorations, and said they would take him to a place. The devil would believe it, I just rushed out of Hokage's place, okay. Take another move from me, wind style, whirlwind fist. 2 chakras of wind attribute gathered in Minato's left and right hands respectively, and then hit the two Anbu one after another. Since you don't cooperate, don't blame us for using force. The two ninjas pulled out the short sword behind them one after another, splitting Minato's whirlwind fist. Minato was taken aback. Both of them have good strength. After 2 confrontations, these two guys are also at the level of elite Chunin. As a result, Minato's eyes lit up. Yesterday he defeated an elite Chunin, and this time 2 more came at once. The development speed is really unstoppable. Using strength, I'm afraid you won't succeed. I'll let you see the strength of Konoha Village's future Hokage. Minato's heart is ready to move. If he defeats these 2 guys, then the development speed will definitely increase a lot. Lightning style, walk. It is better to strike first, let alone facing 2 people. A trace of electric arc erupted from Minato's body, and then surrounded the two Anbu. Small skills, boy, don't think that one person can defeat the two of us, even if you can defeat Chunin of the Uchiha clan, so what, water style, water chaos. Anbu spewed a waterfall-like stream of water from his mouth and rushed towards Minato. Lightning style, thunderball. Another Anbu also actively cooperated, and the two of them used the thunderball to rush into the turbulent water, making the two low-level ninjutsu suddenly full of power. Competing in ninjutsu, WHO is afraid of WHO. Lousy is a man who wants to become a mobile fortress in the future, and I am afraid that you guys who only know some low-level ninjutsu. Lightning style, Fury Thunder Tiger. A powerful lightning-style chakra formed around Minato, and a large number of lightning sizzled on Minato's body. The grass on the ground in the forest was instantly scorched black by the scattered lightning from Minato's body. When the combined ninjutsu of water style and lightning style is about to concentrate on Minato. Roar! Minato roared, increasing chakra's output, and suddenly the surrounding lightning formed a majestic blue thunder tiger wrapped around Minato's entire body. When the blue thunder tiger collided with the lightning ball combined with ninjutsu, Thunder Tiger opened its ferocious mouth, swallowed the lightning ball in one gulp, and then continued to run towards the two Anbu. Rather than saying that Thunder Tiger is running, it is better to say that Minato is running. Quickly rewind. Seeing that the combined ninjutsu of the two of them was broken, one of them suddenly turned pale with fright, and quickly called his companion to retreat quickly. But how can they compare to Minato's speed? He has developed his physique to close to 90%. Naturally, the speed cannot be compared by the two ninjas. Minato is like a humanoid bulldozer, any obstacles in front of him are destroyed by the Blue Thunder Tiger. No, he's too fast, he will be overtaken sooner or later. After seeing Minato's speed, the two were obviously self-aware. Then confront him head-on. I don't believe it, we are both elite Chunin, the two of us are not as good as him. Another person said fiercely. Okay, then head-to-head with him. The other person nodded, and then the two of them stopped at the same time in tacit understanding, and each took up the short sword to stand ready. Die, Fury Thunder Tiger! Minato roared, rushing towards the two Chunins with an indomitable momentum. Come on, let's see who can have the last laugh. The two Anbu didn't hesitate at all, and raised their short swords one after another, intending to split the Blue Thunder Tiger. They were also confident in their sword skills, because the sword they know that the power of ninjutsu is much higher than that of low-level ninjutsu. Boom boom boom. When the saber energy collided with the Blue Thunder Tiger, there was a deafening sound. Both the Blue Thunder Tiger and the saber energy disappeared, but after the Thunder Tiger disappeared, a trace of thunder and lightning scattered around, which happened to affect the two people, paralyzing them a little and causing them to pause. Minato's eyesight was very sharp. He guessed when the lightning was paralyzed, and then he came to the two of them at the fastest speed. Leaf Great Whirlwind. One of them gave a powerful flying kick, which sent both of them flying, hitting a tree before stopping, but this also caused them to suffer serious internal injuries. Stop, stop, we are root people. Just when Minato continued to attack, the two Anbu were obviously discouraged, and quickly revealed their identities. And Minato was surprised when he heard that. No wonder these two people were wearing Konoha forehead protectors, they turned out to be from the roots, that means they were from Shimura Danzo. After being reborn for so many years, Minato has almost forgotten this black sheep who loves to make things behind his back. This is a real ruthless person. In order to achieve the goal of becoming a Hokage, he will do anything and everything. In the previous life, he was also the only one who could not be cleansed. What Shimura Danzo wanted him for, he could guess right away. He must have beaten the Uchiha clan, discovered his talent and wanted to recruit himself. Thinking of this, Minato's heart moved. It doesn't matter to meet this Shimura Danzo, and see how deep his obsession with himself is, so that it will be easier to make countermeasures in the future. Lead the way. I really want to see who invited me. As for the route, I'm sorry I haven't heard of it. Minato's acting skills soared at the moment, and he vividly interpreted the image of a proud and arrogant genius. The two Anbu gritted their teeth when they heard this. This was blatant contempt. If Master Danzo hadn't ordered them, they would definitely teach this arrogant guy a lesson. Ding! Congratulations to host for defeating Elite Chunin, and a random reward of 6% fire style development. Ding! Congratulations to host for defeating Elite Chunin, the random reward space development rate is 9%. After the two stopped fighting, the system's notification sound followed immediately. Haha, a development speed of 15% all at once. If this is self-cultivation, how long will it take to practice? If beating people is the kingly way, cultivation and so on are secondary. In the future, it would be the most comfortable to hit someone when you have nothing to do. It can not only vent, but also make the enemy feel pain. It is simply the best exercise for physical and mental health. Minato followed the two rooted ninjas towards Root's base. There were a lot of detours along the way, but none of them troubled Minato. After sorting out the route a long time ago, he recorded it in his mind. Remember the old nest, it will be convenient to carry it later. But these have to wait until he becomes Hokage. Well, there are still more than 10 years. After arriving at the route base, Minato saw Shimura Danzo, who was not old in this matter, but still looked ugly, with a bandage on his right eye. Who are you, and what is your purpose for coming to me? Seeing Shimura Danzo, Minato didn't panic at all, and had confidence in his heart. It doesn't matter who I am, what matters is your future path. Shimura Danzo smiled when he saw Minato, but he smiled very awkwardly, and he already had a bad face. With a smile, it further accentuated the fact that he was going to make a bad idea. What do you mean? Minato pretended not to understand. Namikaze Minato, join my roots. Only my roots can make Konoha grow. Only when the underground roots are strong, can the trees on the ground grow stronger. The roots need you to join, and I can lead Konoha a real pick. This Shimura Danzo is pretty good at fooling people, but unfortunately I am not a 9-year-old kid, and I know all about your shit, trying to fool me. Not to mention this life, the next life is impossible. You mean you want to be Hokage? Minato pretended to scratch his head, looking very puzzled. It can also be said that, how about it, do you want to consider joining us? Shimura Danzo thought that his speech was very brilliant. How could he fool a child under the age of 10? Although this kid's strength is good, he is still in the ninja school. Shimura Danzo doesn't believe that he understands the 4 words of Sinister Heart. What you said is really interesting. My master is Jiraiya, and third Hokage is my master's master. Why do I have to join the route? Isn't it better for me to follow my teacher? I'm all contributing to Konoha. Minato continued to scratch his head, looking very puzzled. HMPH, Konoha can flourish only in my hands. Sarutobi is not worthy of being a Hokage. Hearing Minato's words, Shimura Danzo said disdainfully. Minato also admires this paranoia. I always feel that I am the savior, as if Konoha leaves him, he will lose. It is simply too self-righteous, and the strength is not very strong. Let's talk about Konoha's cage level, who is still alive in the later stage. Sannin, 4th Hokage, 3rd Hokage, which one can he beat? And the vigilance is so strong. All my subordinates have used the sealing technique, and they will die if they tell the secret. Which idiot will join your route voluntarily? Look at the original Yamato, Sai and Kakashi. Which one was not in your department, but chose to go against your will? You know how unpopular this guy is. I'm sorry, I can't accept squatting in such a dark place every day. This is a mouse hole, and only mice who like to drill holes like to stay underground. Normal people don't live in the sun. Minato refused without hesitation, and was about to leave. While walking, he mobilized chakra. When something went wrong, he immediately planned to use the Flying Thunder God technique to go home, and then complained to 3rd Hokage. Namikaze Minato, it's not so easy to get out when my roots come in, so you just stay for me and do it. Sure enough, Shimura Danzo didn't want to let Namikaze Minato go at all, and no one has seen him come to the roots. It is quite normal for 1 or 2 people to die in the village. So what if he is Jiraiya's disciple? Shimura Danzo, right, I've made a note of this grudge, and I will definitely thank you in the future, Bu. Minato made a gesture to shoot Shimura Danzo, and then disappeared in place. What? How is this possible? How did he leave? Shimura Danzo ran over immediately after Namikaze Minato left, searched the surroundings carefully, and indeed found that Namikaze Minato had left. Is this time-space ninjutsu? Then this kid has already practiced the Flying Thunder God technique that no one has practiced except Mr. Tobarama. Since then, I can't let you stand on Sarutobi's side. I want you to be a sharp sword in my hand. Shimura Danzo grinned sinisterly, determined to win Namikaze Minato. But he didn't know what kind of existence he had messed with. Maybe he would regret messing with such a monster and evildoer when he died. Konoha Village, home of Jiraiya. Shua. With a golden flash, Minato returned home, and rushed to Hokage's office impatiently. Although there is nothing to do with him for the time being, it is okay to be disgusted with him. How can you be reconciled without taking a breath? He is not the master of resignation. Uncle Hokage, I was almost caught today and I can't come back. You have to make decisions for me. As soon as he entered the door, Minato couldn't wait to start yelling. What's going on? Is it a spy from another village? Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately said in a panic when he heard that. Minato is the future pillar of Konoha Village, and he cannot lose it. I don't know either. The other party claimed to be the root, and then took me to an underground mouse hole, and insisted that I join them and help them become Hokage. I didn't agree, so I was about to leave, but the other party wanted to do it. I couldn't get out when I said it, and I was so scared that I quickly ran back home with the Flying Thunder God technique. Minato patted his little one, looking scared. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face darkened when he heard that. He naturally knew who Minato was talking about, but he didn't expect that the other party would dare to make a move when he knew that this was Jiraiya's disciple and his grandson. This is a bit skinny, and it doesn't care about the rules at all. At this time, Sarutobi is not old yet, and his courage is still there. Go and invite Elder Danzo, I have something to talk about. After Sarutobi ordered Anbu, he assured Minato that such things would never happen again. Minato was skeptical about this, and didn't know whether Sarutobi Hiruzen could believe it. However, it would be nice if Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo can pinch each other. As long as it can cause trouble for Shimura Danzo, even if it is a small thing, he is willing to do it. Who made the old tortoise want to keep his own, and sounded a few very hidden Flying Thunder God spells that he left at the root base. Minato just smiled. Wait, Shimura Danzo, when will I give it to you? Here comes a big surprise. If you dare to conspire against me, if you don't, you will be so frightened that you won't be able to sleep, and my name will be written upside down. Not long after Minato left, Shimura Danzo came to the Hokage office. What do you want from me, Sarutobi? Shimura Danzo was in a very bad mood, and the sharp sword in his hand ran away. Sarutobi Hiruzen raised his head casually, smoking a small pipe. Danzo, just take care of your own roots, don't put your hands on my side. Minato is Jiraiya's disciple, I don't want you to do anything else to him. Minato ideas, otherwise don't blame me for taking your root. What do you mean? I don't understand. Shimura Danzo pretended to be confused, as long as he didn't admit it, even if that fool kid sued, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't do anything to him without definite evidence. Don't pretend to be confused. If you do anything to Minato again, don't blame me for pulling out your roots. I am Hokage, and I can do what I say. Sarutobi Hiruzen squinted his eyes, exuding his dignity, the imposing manner of Hokage. And Shimura Danzo's expression became gloomy after hearing this. He didn't expect that the old monkey Sarutobi would value that Namikaze Minato so much, and he would not hesitate to attack his roots because of him. I see. Is there anything else? I'll leave first. Shimura Danzo suppressed the anger in his heart, and his tone was stiff. But there is no way. He is not Hokage, and his strength has not yet reached its peak, and he can't compete with Sarutobi. Both his 3 apprentices and Hatake Tsukumo are powerful ninjas on their own. But there was no one under him. So Namikaze Minato had to give up, otherwise if the roots are gone, it will not be worth the loss. It's good that you understand. I hope you will be your underground root and contribute to the development of Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded, and did not pursue further. In the final analysis, he still remembered the old love and did not punish him immediately, which also fueled the arrogance behind Shimura Danzo, which led to more and more excesses later. Later, Sarutobi Hiruzen became weaker and weaker, and he always wanted to solve the problem in a peaceful way. At that time, Shimura Danzo became even more unscrupulous. When Shimura Danzo returned to the roots, he slammed a bunch of things to vent his anger before calming down. Sarutobi, you are really not suitable to be a Hokage. If you are so indecisive, the future Hokage will definitely be mine. Only I can lead Konoha to the top. As a result, Shimura Danzo desires Hokage's position even more. He doesn't want to be suppressed by Sarutobi in the future, and he doesn't want to suffer the humiliation of today. On the second day, Anbu sent by Sarutobi arrived on time, and then Minato started his journey of learning. Every 3 days, a ninja gave him a lot of development speed. And Minato basically sends Shadow Clone to class now, even Kushina is the same. The young couple skips class every day, either practicing together or going shopping together, enjoying the warm world of two. Moreover, Minato also learned a lot of sealing techniques from Kushina, so his development of sealing techniques was fully stimulated. Just when the two of them were sleeping and breathing together, a piece of news made Kushina panic. Because Grandma Mito is going to seal 9 tails in his body. After half a year or so, Mito has found that Kushina is now filled with love, and it's time to seal 9 tails. Let the new Jinchuriki be born as soon as possible while she still has control over the 9 tails. What's the matter? You've been absent-minded for the past few days, and I feel a little panic in your heart. Minato has already noticed Kushina's abnormality, but she just thought she could adjust it by herself, even though it's the next day, and it's still this. It seems that Minato is a little worried. Hey, Minato, if one day I become a monster, will you still love me so much and treat me so well? Kushina thought for a long time, and finally asked the question that he had been entangled in his heart for a few days with some anxiety. Fool, no matter what you become, my heart for you will not change. Minato guessed the reason from Kushina's tone at once, and comforted her in his arms. Really, even if there is a monster living in my body, Minato won't dislike me. Kushina raised his head in surprise, his voice was full of expectation. He hoped to get Minato's confirmation. No, because you are my little Nana. Minato assured Kushina, holding Kushina's beautiful red hair. At this time, Kushina is very sensitive and fragile, so Minato takes good care of her and tells her not to think too much. Kushina heard that, with tears in her eyes. What she was most worried about turned out to be unimportant all along, and Minato didn't mind at all. Minato, come with me to the Senju family, I don't think I should hide something from you. Saying that, Kushina took Minato's hand and rushed to the Senju family's house. She can tell Minato about 9 tails only at Grandma Mito's request. After all, this is a confidential matter, and Mito has ordered her not to tell anyone. After accompanying Kushina to the Senju clan, he met Senju Mito, also known as Whirlpool Mito. To be honest, there's nothing stopping Kushina from becoming Jinchuriki Minato. The power of 9 tails is still very strong. In the Fourth Ninja World War, Naruto was able to compete against several tailed beasts with half of 9 tails, which shows his strength. Now, if Kushina and 9 tails became friends, Minato would be more at ease with 9 tails' protection. That fox is also a proud existence. Don't look fierce. After becoming friends with Naruto, he is unwilling to leave Naruto. You are Minato, right? Thank you for making Kushina feel the love and filling her heart. Mito looked at Minato kindly, and was very satisfied and relieved that Minato became Kushina's future husband. Grandma, I want to tell Minato about the matter, I don't want to hide it from him. Kushina hesitated for a while, and explained to Mito the purpose. Silly girl, since you brought Minato here, I knew what you were thinking, but as your lover, I am indeed entitled to know the whole story. Although you are still young, I believe in Minato, he will definitely help you. Quote. Mito smiled and pulled Minato and Kushina down in front of him. Grandma Mito, thank you for your trust, I will definitely protect Nana. Minato said solemnly. I believe you can do it. Mito ruffled Minato's hair. Mito then told Minato about sealing the 9 tails and making Kushina a Jinchuriki. He also said that he has notified his granddaughter Tsunade to come back and help seal it together, which is what happened in the past few days. This is the sealing scroll of our Uzumaki clan, Minato, little Nana, I will give it to you now. Finally Mito took out the Uzumaki clan's sealing technique and handed it to Minato. After taking the scroll, Minato carried it on his back, and prepared to hide it with a barrier after going back. Don't worry, Grandma Mito, I will not let the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan be lost. Go, remember to treat Nana well in the future. Minato nodded and retreated with Kushina. After walking out of the Senju clan, Minato stopped and looked at Kushina and said, 9. Please spend more time with Grandma Mito these few days. Once Nine Tails is taken away, Grandma Mito's life is probably counting down. I see. Kushina nodded dully. In fact, the countdown to Mito's life has already begun. At most it will be 10 days and a half months, and it is estimated that Tsunade will come back from the front line. Then you stay here with Grandma Mito, you don't need me to accompany me. Minato rubbed Kushina's hair secretly, and then went home by himself. After arriving at home, he didn't understand to open the sealing scroll, but checked the sealing technique on it. Above adamantine sealing chains, 8-sign seal, 4-elephant seal, ghoul seal, contract seal, etc. are advanced sealing techniques of the Uzumaki clan. After seeing them, Minato learned them one by one. In the world of Hokage, the sealing technique is also unique, and it is necessary to learn it. It's just that Minato has to fly out a shadow clone to study the sealing technique. Since then, chakra is not enough. It seems that I need to improve my physique recently. During the battle with Anbu's elite Chunin, I have rewarded my physique 3 times, once at 4%, once at 3%, and finally 2%. Coupled with my continuous practice these days, the development rate of my physique has reached 99.6%, leaving 0.4% left. But even if it is 0.4%, it is not so easy to achieve, because now one day of hard work can only increase the experience of 0.05%, which means that it will take 8 days. No way. If you get the sage body, it is estimated that chakra can be multiplied many times, and then you don't have to worry about chakra not being enough. Cha Tonla has a look. Time passed day by day. Recently, Kushina has been with Mito all the time. Every day, he would come out for a little time to talk to Minato about his inner sadness. It is so painful to wait for death. Fortunately, Mito is very open, without the fear of facing death, and drives to Kushina every day, and of course her grandson Senju Nawaki. It is impossible for Senju Nawaki not to know about such a big matter. And Minato continued to exercise hard. His physique has been improving, 99.6%, 99.7%, 99.99%, and finally with Minato's roar, his physique reached 100%. In the past 8 days, he has tried his best to exercise his body, and all kinds of limit records are constantly surpassed. If it weren't for the benefits of the system, no matter how tired he was, he would have fully recovered the next day. He might not be able to persist, and his body would also be affected by various hidden injuries that would affect his future growth. 22 Sage Body. Ding! Congratulations to host for developing his physique to 100%. Ding! The first phase of development is complete, and we are entering the second phase of development. Ding! The second stage of Sage Body development is on. Ding! Host chakra has increased tenfold, and the current Sage Body development rate is 1%. When the physique reached 100%, a series of system prompts sounded, accompanied by a huge increase in his own chakra. And with the development of the second stage, Minato can also know the development of Otsutsuki Kagaya and her descendant Sage Body. For example, 10% of the development rate is at the level of Tsunade, 30% is at the level of Kushina or Naruto in the early stage, 60% is at the level of Senju Hashirama, and 80% is at the level of 6 paths. The celestial body Otsutsuki Hagoromo is 100% the same as Otsutsuki Kagaya. However, the development rate of the second stage is even more difficult. If the development rate of defeating an elite Chunin was about 3% to 4%, now it is estimated that it is only about 0.3%. And this is still the early stage of the second stage. If it is later, it is estimated to be even lower. The system looks at my properties panel. Host: Namikaze Minato. Age: 9 years old. Strength level: Chunin. Ninjutsu: Fire style Flame Bomb, Lightning style Ground Walk, Wind style Great Breakthrough, Shadow Clone Technique, Body Flicker Technique, Fire style Fire Extinguishing, Wind style Whirlwind Fist, Lightning style Furious Thunder Tiger, Flying Thunder God Technique, various sealing techniques. Physique: Leaf Great Whirlwind. Illusion: Narukumi Technique. The first stage of Fire style is 69.5% developed. Lightning style Phase 1 development rate 68.3%. Wind style Phase 1 development rate 70.9%. Sage Body development 1%. Spiritual development 54.6%. Space development degree 38%. Seal development rate 19%. Comprehensive strength. Elite Chunin. The various development degrees have increased a lot, and chakra has also increased tenfold, but the strength has not improved, and the overall strength is still Elite Chunin. However, this is what Minato has worked hard in the past 6 months. If he needs to improve his strength, he may only develop powerful ninjutsu, such as A-level ninjutsu. Of course, you can also rely on time to slowly improve your overall strength, but it's just a waste of time. So the practice of rubbing balls can start to prepare. But just when Minato bought a meal of balloons and balls and went home, Kushina found him with a note. Tsunade came back, and the seal will be carried out in these 2 days, either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. This temporarily delayed Minato's plan to make meatballs. He accompanied Kushina to the Senju clan to meet Tsunade, who is still very young now, and of course Senju Nawaki, whom he had never seen before. You are the Minato that Jiraiya always talked about, and you even abducted Kushina quietly. You must treat him well in the future, otherwise I will beat you. Tsunade shook his pink fist when he met him. Yes, Minato threatened. Yes, Sister Tsunade. Minato was ashamed. Tsunade was as arrogant as in the legend. Since you call me my sister, I will protect you from now on, and stop fooling around with that old pervert Jiraiya in the future, so don't be led astray by him. Because both Kushina and Senju Nawaki are called Sister Tsunade, and with the relationship between Minato and Kushina, it is only natural to call Tsunade sister. Yes, sister, Minato said helplessly. The true nature of a man, you don't need to learn from anyone, you will naturally learn without a teacher when you reach a certain age. After Tsunade finished talking about Nawaki, he turned his head to look at his own brother Senju Nawaki with malicious intent. Sister, why are you looking at me like that? Senju Nawaki shuddered, feeling a very bad premonition in his heart. Why did you ask me? Didn't you say that you want to be Hokage? Look at your strength. You are about the same age as Minato, but your strength is very different. You know how to play. The more Tsunade said, the more angry she became. You are the young master of the Senju clan, and you are so much worse than others. She heard that Minato has already defeated Elite Chunin. In the end, looking at his younger brother, at most genin level, probably not necessarily there, this will blow Tsunade up. You may not be as good as others, but you can't be so far behind. They are all the same age. The gap is too big. Don't you feel embarrassed? TCH, he's a monster, he's the only one in the whole grade. Let's just say that Uchiha Mahui in their class, I'm better than him. Every time I take the exam, my score is higher than him. Senju Nawaki said unconvinced. Baga, why do you only compare with people who are not as good as you, and you can't target Minato and compare with him? Tsunade was even angrier after hearing this, and directly rewarded Senju Nawaki with a combination boxing package. Then the red meatballs immediately rose above Senju Nawaki's head, turning into gourd babies. After making a fuss for a while, Tsunade informs Minato that the sealing ceremony will be tomorrow, so that Minato doesn't have to go back at night, and stays directly in the Senju clan until tomorrow's sealing. Then she kicked everyone out, and she had to spend the last time with Grandma. The next day, many people from the Senju clan came. After all, it was related to the Seal of 9 Tails, so we couldn't be careless. Like the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, and the 2 advisors of the elders, Udatane Koharu and Mitokado Homura, even the rude Shimura Danzo came. But for Shimura Danzo, not only Minato, but also Tsunade ignore him, which shows that he is very unpopular. In the end, the 4 of them were guarding outside, while Minato, Tsunade, Kushina, and Senju Nawaki were inside. This is the difference between closeness and closeness. This caused Shimura Danzo to have a very big opinion. Why can Namikaze Minato, the kid, be in the room, but I have to wait outside? It's really unreasonable. Just facing Mito, he didn't dare to blame, otherwise a group of villagers in Konoha would spray him to death tomorrow. In the room, Mito and Kushina faced each other, and Mito made a seal to undo the 4-image seal that sealed 9 Tails. Hey, Mito, you don't want to seal me anymore, I've had enough of the dark days. 9 Tails began to struggle crazily as soon as he came out. He was not reconciled, he didn't want to continue to be sealed, he wanted to be free. But Mito has been on guard against 9 Tails for a long time. The moment 9 Tails appeared, the iron chains of adamantine sealing chains flew out of Mito's body, and then tied Nine Tails like a rice dumpling, and slowly guided his chakra enter Kushina's body. At this time, Tsunade walked behind Mito, and put his hands on Mito's back with green light, helping her restore chakra and reduce the injury suffered by pulling out Nine Tails. Minato and Nawaki were silent spectators, they couldn't help at all. Soon the struggle of Nine Tails became weaker and weaker. As the last trace of Nine Tails chakra entered into Kushina's body, Mito made complicated seals with both hands, and finally shouted, "Four elephants seal." I saw a sealing technique appeared on Kushina's stomach, which is the four-image seal. It was successfully completed, and I can go to see your great-grandfather Hashirama. After Nine Tails pulled away, Mito, who cast the four-elephant seal again, was very weak. She was leaning against Tsunade's arms, talking weakly. Everyone knew that she was going to die. Kushina and Senju Nawaki were in tears. Minato and Tsunade nodded their heads in silence, deep down in their hearts very hard to pass. Everyone didn't speak, and Mito kept saying that he asked Tsunade to take good care of his younger brother, asked Minato to take good care of Kushina, and asked Tsunade to take good care of Minato, and Minato can be regarded as her half-brother. Both Tsunade and Minato nodded repeatedly, promising that they would do it. I've finished explaining my affairs, and I can go there with peace of mind. Children, don't be sad. Grandma will look at you in the sky and bless you. After Mito's last words were finished, she slowly closed her eyes and lowered her hands. Her life came to an end. Grandmother. Kushina and Senju Nawaki groaned, lay on Mito's body and began to cry. Master Mito, please go. Sarutobi Hiruzen silently took off the Hokage hat and mourned. The other three naturally knew the current situation, so even Shimura Danzo did nothing else, and followed Sarutobi Hiruzen in silence. Mito's death means that Konoha's only surviving older generation has completely passed away, and now belongs to Sarutobi's era. On the same day, Konoha announced the news of the death of first Hokage's wife, and held a funeral the next day. It is estimated that the whole village will come to see her off. The next day, Minato and Kushina, dressed in black mourning clothes, silently came to the cemetery to send their grandma the last ride. And there was also light rain in the sky, as if it was also sending Mito off. Everyone was silent, silently mourning. After delivering Mito, everyone left. After all, they all had their own things to do. However, one scene caught the attention of many people. Tsunade blocked Shimura Danzo with Minato, Kushina and Nawaki. Danzo, I heard that you dared to send someone to take Minato away in advance. I came this time to warn you. Minato is my younger brother. You are not allowed to do anything unfavorable to him, otherwise our entire Senju clan will die. I won't let you go, on my behalf, Senju Tsunade. It turned out that Tsunade heard about this from nowhere, and came here to be Minato's backer, and by the way, warned Shimura Danzo here. Her current relatives are only Kushina and Nawaki, and the relationship between Minato and Kushina is also considered her relatives, so naturally he will not let him have a mistake. After warning Shimura Danzo, Tsunade took Minato and the three of them away, leaving Shimura Danzo with a livid face. The entire Konoha is probably only Tsunade who dared to warn the elders so unscrupulously. There is no way anyone can let her have a big background. Shimura Danzo really dare not go too far to embarrass Tsunade on the bright side. After the funeral, Tsunade continued to stay in Konoha for a few days before leaving. She was still needed on the frontline battlefield, and her existence could prevent many undeserving people from Konoha from dying. And Minato and Kushina also resumed the appearance before Mito's death, practicing together, going to school, and shopping together every day. It is worth mentioning that during the few days when Tsunade was in Konoha, Minato accompanied her to a casino and won a lot of money. Otherwise, Minato's money is probably at the bottom, and there is no money to spend with Kushina. Unknowingly, half a year has passed again, and the time agreed with Jiraiya at the beginning has come. Minato also thinks that Jiraiya should come back. In the past 6 months, Minato's challenger has not changed from elite Chunin, and it is still necessary to hide a little hole card, but his overall strength level has been raised to the level of a special Jonin. Various development degrees have also improved in different ways, especially the development degrees of space and seals, which have increased the most. I don't know why, the development speed of the challenge random rewards in the past 6 months is basically space and seals, and the others are relatively small, but the development speed of the 3 escapisms is almost 80%, and it is estimated that there will be another one. There will be new rewards for 2 random development degrees. When explaining thinking of Jiraiya, Hokage office. I'm back, it's for Minato. Facing the dusty Jiraiya, Sarutobi Hiruzen affirmed. Ah, after all, I have already made an appointment with Minato. As a teacher, I seldom teach him. This time I have to catch up after graduation. Besides, the front line is not particularly nervous now. Jiraiya nodded. He did come back for Minato. I know your agreement, so I also found 2 teammates for him. They are both good in strength. Now you can let him apply for graduation in advance. Jiraiya smiled and handed the 2 ninja files to Jiraiya. Hehe, it turned out to be them. This kid has a lot of good fortune. He has a girl teammate, and the strength is not bad, but there is a member of the Uchiha clan among them. Will it cause trouble for Minato? After receiving the files from Sarutobi's day, Jiraiya was slightly taken aback, pointing to one of the files and said, "Don't worry, this Uchiha clan is different from the others. He has a gentle and generous personality, so he won't cause trouble for Minato. This is a character I personally selected." Sarutobi Hiruzen naturally knew what Jiraiya meant and explained a little. Jiraiya nodded in satisfaction when he heard that. He still trusted the old man's words. I went to find this brat and told him to graduate quickly. I don't have much vacation time. As for these 2 people, you are responsible for notifying them. It will be the day after Minato's graduation. Jiraiya shook the file in his hand. No problem, I will arrange Minato's graduation exam at the ninja school this time. Let everyone in Konoha know that a new star in Konoha is thriving. Before Jiraiya left, Sarutobi Hiruzen reminded. Regarding this point, Jiraiya also agrees that Minato's current strength no longer needs to be hidden, and he will protect him from being found by people with ulterior motives. Besides, Minato has the Flying Thunder God technique in his body. Trying to kill him is probably harder than going to heaven. No matter how many people you send, others will disappear without a trace with just one Flying Thunder God technique. Where can you find him? When Jiraiya found Minato, he was practicing with Kushina. Several shadow clones are practicing all kinds of ninjutsu, illusion, space-time ninjutsu and sealing techniques, while Ontology is practicing with Kushina. After half a year of practice, Kushina has mastered adamantine sealing chains with his uniquely huge chakra, and now it is only proficiency. This sealing technique can not only trap people, but can also be used to attack. It is really very powerful. As long as Kushina has practiced this technique well, he can deal with various situations. Of course, as the elder sister, Tsunade also passed on her strange power to Kushina, and has a huge chakra, which is wasted if it is not used. As for Minato, he handed over the cultivated Rasengan to Kushina, who also has the wind attribute chakra. In this way, both husband and wife are rubbing balls. However, as the meatball package that runs through the entire plot, Minato thinks it is necessary to learn. And after learning Sage Mode in the future, the Spiral Shuriken can be thrown like a shuriken, which is also a super powerful big move. In the future, the meatball set will be the patent of their Namikaze family. Moreover, under Minato's careful guidance, it took Kushina a full 5 months to release Rasengan with one hand. No way, Chakra of Nine Tails has been interfering with her, and Nine Tails, who has just been resealed, is full of resentment. Yo, how are you, dear Minato? Your great teacher has returned as promised. After observing secretly for a while, Jiraiya jumped out and greeted the 2. Minato didn't have Minato, so Kushina was taken aback. Lustful toad, you are finally back. It seems that I can apply for early graduation. Minato was a little excited when he saw Jiraiya come back. After all, he also wanted to go out and see other scenery in the world of Hokage. I have been staying in Konoha for the past few years, and I am tired of watching it. Bang! A shadow clone appeared, and Minato arranged for him to go to school and ask the head teacher to apply for graduation. Your boy's chakra has grown a lot this year. You can actually separate out so many shadow clones, and you can also let the shadow clones practice on their own. Seeing this, Jiraiya said in surprise. He remembered that a year ago, Minato's chakra didn't have that much. Just now he clearly saw that there are 5.6 Minato shadow clones releasing ninjutsu non-stop, and the level is not low. Looking at the fact that Minato does not have any chakra depletion, one can imagine his chakra amount up. This made him amazed. He remembered that Minato was only a commoner, how could he have such a huge amount of chakra? But he didn't think about it, he just thought it was Minato's extraordinary talent, and he couldn't help but sigh, he is indeed my disciple. What, you want to apply for early graduation? Tamaki Shenyu's unbelievable voice came from the classroom office of ninja school. Yes, I'm going to practice with my master Jiraiya, and it's not interesting to stay in school. Minato explained a little. Ah, even so, I still have to report to Lord Hokage. Hearing that Minato carried out Jiraiya, Tamaki Shenyu could only report to Hokage first. Then I'll wait for the teacher's news here. Minato nodded. Tamaki Shenyu didn't say much, and went directly to Hokage's office to report Minato's early graduation. Naturally, Sarutobi Hiruzen knew about it a long time ago, and agreed on the spot, and informed that Minato's graduation exam would be held at the ninja school in 3 days, and there was no need to hide those students, and maybe he could inspire them. After getting Hokage's approval, Tamaki Kamizuki returned to the ninja school and informed Minato of the school exam in 3 days. With Minato's departure, Tamaki Shenyu also told his classmates about Minato's early graduation, and now it became lively, and a group of people began to discuss it. And after school, those children also started to tell their families after returning home that through word of mouth, everyone in Konoha knew that there was a genius who was graduating early. 3 days later, Minato's graduation exam came, and Konoha's ninja school was already crowded with people, and everyone wanted to see this genius who graduated early. Of course, basically ninjas come more, and civilians don't come either. So when Minato came to the school, he was immediately confused. Isn't it just a graduation exam, so many people need to come? Come on, that's Namikaze Minato who graduated early, he's so handsome. A group of young girls from the ninja school screamed, Minato's popularity in the school is still very good. TCH, a bunch of little ones, no more screaming, my Minato doesn't like you little fool. Seeing so many girls cheering for Minato, Kushina said sourly. It's really troublesome. There are so many people coming to visit a graduation exam, but it's a good time to see Minato's true strength. As a friend, Luju also gave up sleeping in and came to watch Minato's graduation exam. Hai and Ding Zuo on the side nodded without listening. Minato's strength has always been a mystery. The three of them have fought against Minato many times, but they lost very quickly every time. Even though they improved quickly, they still can't test Minato's true strength. Really, so many people came to see the graduation exam of a ninja school student. A genin who just graduated looked at Minato who came over jealously. Okay, others are geniuses. I heard that they are Master Jiraiya's disciples. We can't compare them. Let's take a closer look at the strength of this genius. Genin's teammate explained. TCH, how much a graduation assessment can be seen through, maybe it's not as exciting as our battle. Genin continued to mutter, and even his teammates didn't say anything after seeing this, obviously this guy was very jealous of him. At this time, the important figures finally appeared, Third Hokage, the 2 advisors, and Shimura Danzo, the 3 elders. With the appearance of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the atmosphere reached its climax. The shadow of one village came to see the graduation exam of this ninja school, and it blinded the titanium alloy dog eyes of those genin who had just graduated. For a while, they became even more jealous. There is no harm without comparison. Everyone is a commoner, and you are still an orphan, why are you so good? I'm the tester this time, Inoue Sano, please give me your advice. Inoue Sano, Konoha's special jonin, is currently working as a team leader teacher, and is good at water style and earth style ninjutsu. Mr. Sano came to take the exam. How is it possible? Is this guy worthy of a special jonin exam? When Inoue Sano came out, his 3 students suddenly became restless. And with their loud noise, everyone knew that the examiner was a special jonin, and everyone was a little confused now. It is very high profile to find an elite genin or chunin for a graduation exam. In the end, a special jonin was found. Could it be that the Hokage National People's Congress deliberately embarrassed Namikaze Minato and didn't want him to pass the exam? Hi, Senior Inoue, Please give me your advice. Minato smiled slightly, showing a sunny smile, and captured countless little girls at once. Even some graduated female ninjas showed red hearts in their double openings, so handsome up. Kushina gritted her teeth angrily after seeing it. Minato, this fool, seduce other girls so blatantly in front of me, it is unforgivable, and those little idiot, Minato is mine, you have no play. The content of this assessment is to hold on to me for half an hour, or to defeat me. If you meet one of the above two conditions, you will be considered as a graduate. Inoue Sano hesitated for a moment, and then announced according to Master Hokage's intention. He didn't understand how a student who was still in school could persist under my command for half an hour, let alone defeat me. Is it because Master Hokage didn't want Master Jiraiya's disciple to pass? In fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't know what stage Minato's strength has reached, because none of the elite Chunin sent this year won, and they were all defeated by Minato. That's why he sent a special Jonin to test Minato's strength, and worried that Minato would not be able to win against the special Jonin, so he added another half-hour task. This can be regarded as the best of both worlds. And following Inoue Sano's announcement, the group of people who were jealous of Minato suddenly showed disdainful smiles. Sure enough, Mr. Hokage didn't want this guy to pass. How could those two conditions be fulfilled? Inoue Sano ignored those people's discussions, but took out a shuriken. The moment the shuriken landed, the battle began. After speaking, he threw the shuriken into the sky, and then the whole person began to stand ready. And Sarutobi Hiruzen naturally knew what kind of movement would be caused by two people fighting, and the onlookers were basically 30 meters away. And in all directions there are some Jonin at the forefront, so as not to have any accidents. Ding! As the shuriken fell to the ground, Minato and Inoue Sano moved instantly. Instead of using ninjutsu, they chose to use taijutsu to fist and kick. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of fists and kicks continued to sound, and the speed of the two people was very fast. Generally, those below Chunin could not see the movements of the two of them clearly, and only saw afterimages and bang bang sounds. How is it possible? This guy can keep up with Sano's speed. Is he really a ninja student? Inoue Sano's disciples were stunned, watching the competition in the field dumbfounded. Don't worry, Mr. Sano is good at ninjutsu. Once you use ninjutsu, that Namikaze Minato will no longer be your opponent. The teammate quickly comforted him. As expected, Minato's strength is unfathomable. Lu Ju said solemnly to the two people beside him. Of course, my Minato is very powerful, and now it's just a trivial matter. Kushina, who was standing next to the three of them, smiled, and let you open your eyes to see how powerful Minato is. Yes, your Minato is the most powerful. Lu Ju rolled his eyes speechlessly for Kushina, who is a husband-showing madman and a husband-protecting madman. God knows how many times they have heard this year. With the continuous confrontation, Minato is gaining the upper hand, and the addition of Sage Body makes his physical skills very powerful. And Inoue Sano also knew the strength of the opponent, who was at the same level as him. No wonder Master Hokage issued such an assessment task. It turns out that he already knew the strength of Namikaze Minato. As expected of Master Jiraiya's disciple, now that you have passed the taijutsu assessment, let me see if your ninjutsu is as good as taijutsu. After another collision, Inoue Sano used the thrust to pull back the distance, making seals while retreating. Water style, water turbulence. From Inoue Sano's mouth spewed a waterfall of water towards Minato. Ninjutsu competition. I will not lose, I want to be the man who is the #1 gunner in Hokage. Minato thought to himself, and the speed of making seals on his hands was not slow. Wind style, great breakthrough. A strong gust of wind spurted from Minato's mouth, sweeping towards the turbulent waves of the water. The strong wind blew away Inoue Sano's ninjutsu and turned it into water droplets that fell around. The equal share of ninjutsu immediately shocked the ninjas present. Is this still a graduation exam? It feels like two special Jonins are fighting. Could it be that this disciple of Master Jiraiya already possesses special Jonin strength? Hey, this joke is too big, he is only 10 years old, how could he be so powerful? But then they know what a real genius is. Inoue Sano had already regarded Minato as an opponent of the same level, so naturally he would not think that he could defeat Minato with a low-level ninjutsu. This blow was just his temptation. Sure enough, as he expected, the child on the opposite side followed his ninjutsu easily, so that he could let go of his hands and attack, and he also wanted to see where the limit of this child was. Since one of Hokage-sama's assessment tasks is to defeat him, it means that Minato has the strength to defeat him. Be careful, I won't use low-level ninjutsu again, take Namikaze Minato. Inoue Sano roared, with complicated seals on his hands. Water style. Water dragon bomb technique. A ferocious water dragon rises from the ground, but because it is in a waterless land, and he is not a very powerful ninja, this water dragon looks a bit malnourished. But that is much more powerful than sea-level ninjutsu. The dragon head transformed from water dragon bomb spins in the air and rushes towards Minato. Water dragon bomb, let's have a fight. When Inoue Sano just called out the water dragon bomb technique, Minato made a decision, and then ended the lightning style very quickly. Lightning style. Fury Thunder Tiger. ZZZ. The lightning style chakra kept flashing around Minato's body, and finally turned into a huge blue thunder tiger and shrouded Minato's body. Roar, Thunder Tiger. Minato yelled, rushing towards the water dragon bomb. A battle between dragons and tigers is about to take place. Boom, 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 boom. A dragon and a tiger collided together, constantly biting each other, as if they would never give up regardless of the outcome. In the end, Minato, with his excellent chakra control, controlled Thunder Tiger to bite off the water dragon's neck, turning the water dragon bomb into a puddle of water. After solving the water dragon, Minato continued to stay indomitable and rushed towards Inoue Sano. From a distance, he looked like a galloping blue thunder tiger. With lightning speed, Inoue Sano passed through with a flash of lightning. Teacher Sano. Inoue Sano's disciple suddenly panicked. How could it be possible? How could Teacher Sano be killed so easily? Some of the other genin's eyes widened too, thinking the examiner had lost. Minato didn't let his guard down though, because something was wrong with that figure. Sure enough, after a while, Inoue Sano, who was pierced by lightning, turned into a pile of mud, which is the earth double. And seeing this scene, those genin suddenly realized that they were really scared stupid just now. Is this Minato's real strength? That's the B-level ninjutsu water dragon bomb technique. It was actually cracked by him. Is this guy's strength already so much beyond ours? No wonder the three of us are no match for him no matter how we fight. Lu Ju stood aside and muttered to himself. At this moment, his heart was deeply hit. Everyone is in the same class and good friends. As a result, when they were still working hard for genin, Minato was already able to be with the special jonin. It's time to fight. Moreover, they fought so fiercely that they didn't fall into a disadvantage at all, which made them hide their faces in shame. But for him, the gap was too big. It seemed that he had to practice seriously in the future, and he couldn't be afraid of trouble all the time. Papa Papa. At this moment, Inoue Sano came out from the other side and applauded by the way. You were really powerful. Even if you hit my soil double, you didn't relax your vigilance in the slightest. It shows that you have already noticed something is wrong. What a keen insight. The examiner's strength is also good. I didn't find the soil clone you used when explaining. If I knew it, I wouldn't waste those chakras attacking your soil clone. Minato also recognized the opponent's strength. Although he is not a jonin, he does have something unique. No wonder he can be a special jonin. Next is the real duel, and I won't remind you when it's time to attack. Inoue Sano took a deep breath. 1/4 of his chakra had been consumed, and the real duel was next. Come here, I don't need your reminder from the examiner. Minato said confidently. Don't think that his more than 100 battles this year are white hits, at least his combat experience is very rich. At this time Inoue Sano began to seal. When Minato saw it, he immediately became cautious. This is an earth-style seal, and if nothing else, it should be attacked from underground. Earth-style. Earth Dragon Bullet. Sure enough, a dragon head made of mud emerged from the ground, and then opened its mouth to spit out countless mud to attack Minato. Seeing this, Minato jumped up without hesitation, jumped into the air to avoid the attack, and made seals with both hands while jumping up. Because as he jumped into the air, the mud bomb attack of the Earth Dragon Bomb also followed. Wind style. Whirlwind Fist. He punched out the invisible wind fist condensed in his hand, breaking the mud bomb attack of the Earth Dragon Bomb. After landing on the ground, Minato used lightning style again, walking on the ground. A flickering arc rushed from the ground to Inoue Sano. Ah! The miserable cry came out of Inoue Sano's mouth, making everyone worried for a while, but in the end it was the soil double. Minato frowned. Where did this guy hide? There was no sky, no one around, so it could only be underground. Just the moment Minato just thought of it. Earth-style, heart beheading technique. A pair of hands stretched out from the ground, and then pulled Minato into the soil. Inoue Sano put kunai on Minato's head, and smiled, "You lost." But Lu Ju and the others who were present felt very sorry that it was only a few minutes away from half an hour, and they failed at this time. And then the genins felt relieved. Telling you to pretend to be aggressive and fail the assessment task, even if your strength is stronger than us, so what, you are still not a ninja, and we are dignified ninja-sama, even if it is a genin. But before they were born to talk about it, the sudden scene in the sky brought their complacency to an abrupt end. Really, I don't think so. Minato in the soil showed a weird smile, and then disappeared into smoke with a bang. This is Minato's shadow clone. Nani? I didn't realize when the shadow clone was created. Inoue Sano's pupils shrank, and the scene in front of him was beyond his imagination. The battle is not completely over, so you can't take it lightly, let's take it. Minato's voice sounded from Inoue Sano's head. Inoue Sano looked up while making the mudra, and saw that Minato was landing in the air, and a blue chakra sphere was spinning in his right hand. This is a kind of ninjutsu that he has never seen before, but from the sense of oppression coming from it, Inoue Sano is sure that this ninjutsu is absolutely extraordinary. He didn't see it, but those Jonin present and Jiraiya and Sarutobi Hiruzen all saw it. It was because they saw that they were horrified, because they found that Minato's ninjutsu had no seals at all. What does this mean? This means that this ninjutsu is a ninjutsu that does not require seals. How can this not shock them? They have witnessed the process of Rasengan from scratch. Jiraiya, have you seen this ninjutsu? Sarutobi Hiruzen stared at the Rasengan in Minato's hand and asked Jiraiya. I don't know either, Minato didn't tell me. Jiraiya blinked, expressing that she didn't know at all. How do you become a teacher? You don't even know what your own apprentices are capable of. Sarutobi Hiruzen almost vomited blood depressed. It can't be my fault. I have been fighting on the front line all these years, and I haven't been back in the past year. I don't know where this ninjutsu came from. Jiraiya spread her arms and shouted for grievances. Sarutobi Hiruzen also thought it made sense when he heard it. No, after the graduation assessment, he must ask Minato, what is going on, is it like what they saw, it belongs to Muji ninjutsu, or is the knot hidden? But Sarutobi Hiruzen prefers the former, he doesn't believe that Minato can hide the knot under his nose. Earth style, earth flow wall. Accompanied by Inoue Sano's roar, walls rose from the ground to envelop him, and finally the position above his face was not spared, completely enclosing him and turning him into a square clod. Bloom, Rasengan. Facing the defense of the earth flow wall, Minato did not stop attacking, but let out a roar, and smashed Rasengan hard to the earth flow wall. Boom. As soon as the powerful rotating force of Rasengan came into contact with the earth flow wall, a shocking explosion occurred. However, Minato did not back down, maintained chakra's input without hesitation, disintegrated the earth flow wall little by little, and finally cracked the earth flow wall, and then pressed Rasengan at the feet of Inoue Sano. He didn't dare to press on Inoue Sano's body, otherwise he would be seriously injured if he didn't die. It was just an assessment, so there was no need for such a heavy hand. Boom. As Rasengan hit the ground, a circular deep pit with a radius of 5 meters suddenly appeared under the feet of the two people, and the earth flow wall also completely collapsed. After the smoke cleared, Inoue Sano and Minato were revealed. It's just that Minato is relatively clean except for a little panting, except that there is some dust on the clothes. As for Inoue Sano, it was more embarrassing, he was in a mess, especially when Rasengan passed him just now, he thought he was finished. I lost, and thank you for being merciful at the end, otherwise I might not have a better time. Inoue Sano took a deep breath, and then gave up very simply. But the heart is still very bitter, you must know that he is already 25 years old, reaching a special Jonin at this age is considered a small genius, and it is estimated that he can reach Jonin before the age of 30. But compared with the little guy in front of me, there is no comparison. It is too shocking, he can be defeated at the age of 10. It is estimated that this little guy will reach Jonin in 2 to 3 years. And it is estimated that it is also Konoha's youngest Jonin level combat power. Although the level has not reached, but the strength is also very scary. With Inoue Sano throwing in the towel, the ninja school explodes in one fell swoop. How is it possible that this Namikaze Minato defeated Sano-sensei? Am I dreaming? The student who was jealous of Minato looked at Minato dumbfounded. No, it's not a dream. This guy is really too strong. He is not at the same level as us. Another student of Sano was full of bitterness. Minato is so strong, he can defeat Special Jonin, no wonder he is so easy every time he fights us. It seems that the three of us also need to work hard, otherwise what face would we have to be Minato's friends? Lu Ju clenched his fists tightly and said to Haiyi and Ding Zuo beside him. Yeah, Haiyi and Ding Zuo nodded quickly. After seeing the gap, they also felt that they must work hard to practice, otherwise they would be pulled further away by Minato. Everyone else was amazed, only Shimura Danzo's face was livid. The more powerful Minato is, the more unhappy he is. Since this sharp sword can't be used by me, then don't blame me for destroying him. Shimura Danzo secretly made a decision. Compared to Shimura Danzo's displeasure, Jiraiya and Sarutobi Hiruzen laughed, especially Jiraiya. His disciple is so good, his face is also bright, and he will have the capital to brag with Tsunade and Orochimaru in the future. Sarutobi Hiruzen picked up the forehead protector beside him and went to the field, and handed the forehead protector belonging to Konoha to Minato. Minato, congratulations on your graduation. Thank you Uncle Hokage. Minato took the forehead protector and smiled. This made the genin present start to be jealous again. This Minato can actually let Master Hokage personally award the forehead protector. What a high honor this is, and it can be boasted for a lifetime. After tying the forehead protector on his forehead, Minato came to Kushina and Luju. To celebrate my graduation, let's have dinner together today. Okay, I want to eat barbecue. Ding Zuo immediately yelled. He didn't want to eat ramen anymore, his favorite is barbecue. Haha, hearing Ding Zuo's rush, everyone started to laugh. Okay, let's go eat barbecue. Dingza, you are in charge of finding a barbecue restaurant, so we can chat while eating. Minato agreed. Speaking of which, he has never eaten Konoha's barbecue, and he can try it today if he has the chance. Then it's settled. I know that there is a barbecue restaurant that is very delicious. After you eat it, you can't help but want to eat it again. Ding Zuo promised, patted his chest. Haha, Ding Zuo's appearance caused everyone to laugh wildly again. I'm going too, you can't leave me alone. Senju Nawaki ran over at this time. Although he didn't meet Luju and the others, he was already very familiar with Minato and Kushina. Well, this is Senju Nawaki, my friend. Minato began to introduce. Then Luju and the others introduced themselves, and everyone got to know each other initially. Then Minato went over to Jiraiya and spoke to him. Jiraiya is fine, Rasengan can be asked later, let Minato do his own activities. As for tomorrow's team gathering, Jiraiya will naturally take Minato with him. After a barbecue meal, Nawaki and Luju became acquainted with each other, and they can often practice together in school in the future, and they can be regarded as taking care of each other. After the barbecue was over, everyone left with satisfied expressions, and only Minato and Kushina came to Jiraiya's house. I finally became a ninja. I want to do my best to save a lot of money and buy a house of our own. As soon as he got home, Minato suddenly thought of buying a house. Why did I suddenly think of buying a house? Kushina said strangely. In this way, I can take you out, Nana, and live together in our own house. Minato said what was in his heart. Kushina blushed immediately after hearing this. So, isn't it too fast? What are you thinking about? We just moved in and lived together. Really, I think about messy things all day long, and I don't know who I learned from them. Minato knew at a glance that Kushina's thinking was wrong, and he couldn't help but be speechless. Is that so? I thought. Kushina blushed even more, and was too embarrassed to speak. At this time, Konoha has already spread Minato's scenery and deeds, and everyone knows a super genius named Namikaze Minato. Everyone in Konoha is talking about Minato. The next day, Jiraiya took Minato to the agreed place, where Jiraiya's class gathered. Walking on the streets of Konoha, everyone pointed at Minato. It seems that the enthusiasm about Minato has not dissipated after one night. Besides, Minato was already very handsome, and with that sunny smile on his face, many people couldn't help it, and they almost rushed to Minato and shouted to Minato to give birth to a monkey for him. TCH, what's so good about you, kid, that so many people like it, especially those pretty little girls who shamelessly say they want to give birth to monkeys for you? However, Minato was comfortable. Jiraiya was upset. How he wished that those little girls came for him. Since he was a child, he has not been treated like this. Who made you ugly and so wretched? Of course you can't be as popular as me. Minato spread his hands. I can't help it, I blame me for being handsome. After hearing this, Jiraiya's veins flared up, and he beat people without slapping them in the face, or exposing others without revealing their faults. If you weren't my disciple, kid, I would definitely let you know what it means to respect elders. Yes, thank you for your generosity. Minato waved his hands indifferently after hearing this, his tone full of perfunctory. Jiraiya was discouraged all of a sudden, and she was reluctant to fight, and she couldn't talk about it. What else could she do? Ninja, what an unlovable disciple. Not long after they crossed the streets of Konoha, they came to a practice field, where there were already two waiting. One was a girl wearing Uchiha clan costumes, and the other was a boy with a cold face and a long knife on his back. Judging by the age, both of them are about the same age. They should be around 15 years old. Hi, I'm Jiraiya, your team leader. Coming to the two people, the author of Jiraiya introduced himself. See, Jiraiya-sama, I didn't expect you to be our leading teacher. The girl from the Uchiha clan looked at Jiraiya in surprise. She never imagined that Jiraiya would become his leading teacher, and the other boy with a cold storage expression was also very surprised. As the apprentice of third Hokage, Jiraiya's reputation is very big. Haha, don't be surprised. By the way, this is your new teammate. Come and introduce yourself, tell us your likes, dislikes, and dreams. Jiraiya laughed. My name is Uchiha Makoto. I like to cook. I don't have anything particularly annoying. If I want to dream, I want to be a female ninja like Master Tsunade. Uchiha girl with long straight black hair introduced herself. After hearing Uchiha Makoto's introduction, Minato was stunned for a moment and glanced at him unexpectedly. This is the woman who gave birth to Uchiha Itachi and Indra's reincarnation Uchiha Sasuke. I didn't expect to form a team with her. Is it the butterfly effect? I remembered that there was such a scene in the original book that Kushina asked Makoto if it was painful to have a baby. Could it be that they became friends very early? Because if you are not familiar with it, you will not rashly ask others this kind of question. But no matter what, my arrival is destined to change some things. My name is Moonlight Changfang. I like to practice swordsmanship. I have nothing to hate. My dream is to become the #1 swordsmanship master in the ninja world. The author of The Cruel Boy introduced himself. Compared with Uchiha Makoto, this Moonlight Changfang is not impressive, and it is probably just a trick. My name is Namikaze Minato. The person I like is worse than the thing I like, Uzumaki Kushina. When he said this, he couldn't help but think of Kushina's round face, and couldn't help showing a happy smile. This made Jiraiya and Yugong Changfang's faces twitch. They felt something suddenly added to their stomachs. It was a bowl full of dog food. When Uchiha Makoto saw Minato's gentle smiling face, he couldn't help but blushed, and thought to himself, what a handsome, warm little boy. As for the annoying thing, Shimura Danzo, who has been in the mouse hole all day, really wants to blow up his mouse hole. Speaking of the annoying person, Minato showed a slightly displeased expression. After hearing this, Jiraiya started to have a headache. This is really worrying, and Shimura Danzo must not hear this, otherwise this guy may come over to ask the teacher sometime. In the end, my dream is to become a Hokage, not only to be a Hokage, but also to be the strongest Hokage in history, the strongest Hokage that surpasses the first Hokage. When it's the final dream, Minato said without hesitation. With a system, he firmly believes that he can do it. After Minato finished speaking, the three of Jiraiya were shocked. What a great dream this is, not only to become Hokage, but also to surpass all Hokage in the past and become the strongest Hokage. Jiraiya looked at his disciple complicatedly. He knew about Minato's dream of becoming a Hokage, but he didn't expect him to be so powerful and to become the strongest Hokage. But Jiraiya was very happy afterwards, as expected of my disciple, he has such a great dream. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.